It's Thursday night. You know what that means. WrestlePurists is live here. Thursday, October 20th, 2022. Guys, it's the 50th episode. We've made it a 50. We passed the pilot. The sponsors are happy. The network is happy. You know what I mean? We're looking at a TV extension coming soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I think we should all pat ourselves on the back for the great work we've done on this channel to make it to 50 episodes. And here's to 50 more.
Man.
But this is WrestlePurists podcast, Thursday night. I'm Hollywood Hangman Adam Pierce, your host today with Monty, back at it. Manny, wearing another new mask. And Charlie, who's back at it again. And it's Charlie's, depending on time zones, birthday, or her birthday just passed.
Nope, we're still in my birthday. It's
still her birthday. Look at that.
We've got 5 minutes. So for the next 5 minutes, everyone wish Charlie a happy birthday.
Let's get happy birthdays in the chat for Charlie.
Happy birthdays, likes, subscriptions, super chats, birthdays.
Super chats.
If you want to drop the super chats for the birthday.
I was gonna say, for the birthday girl, let's get some super chats. Maybe get her a gift or something.
Most of you guys are American, so it will still be my birthday.
It'll still be, And so you have to celebrate Charlie's birthday properly.
The chat just refreshed. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, throw them up, Monty. I'm not looking at the chat.
We got. Look at the chat then.
You can see the chat on the show.
Happy birthday, Charlie. Happy birthday from
Thank
Peach.
you.
Israel, happy birthday, Charlie.
Oh, Israel, thank you. And
oh my God, look at all this. Look at all this. Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
We get a lot of birthday love, you know.
Could you imagine, Monty? Could you imagine on mine where we do this and it's just
bro.
It's gonna be so many tomorrow.
It's just birthday to
me. It'll be fun, you know. Jamie, WrestlePurists is on our own prodigy.
Yeah, WrestlePurists 2.0.
Appreciate it.
Call me,
Jamie, thank you, sir.
We're gonna set up the Performance Center podcast soon.
I can't wait for that. I'm actually really excited for that. I want to throw in all people that have never appeared on the podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Who can we throw into this?
You know what I'm going to do, Monty?
Project.
I might do it after this pod. I might do a recruitment space.
Tryouts.
We do tryouts. We whittle it down to like 6 of them, and then that's gonna be the people of the pod. I might unironically do this. Me and AO
look at this. Shit. Look at this, bro. This is nasty business.
Alfred Konuwa, $5. I'm trying to do it in his voice. No, I'm not doing that. As 51% owner of WrestlePurists.
That's not true.
Yeah, I want to say happy birthday, Charlie, on behalf of the WrestlePurists fam.
Thank you.
Mr. Kunawa, thank you for the $5 donation. KW backup Gabe supposed to. Yeah, really. I'm gonna go cave mode.
Space recruitment.
Honestly, that's what we're doing tonight. If AO's here, it's gonna be so funny. We'll be the fucking judges, and I'm gonna say 30 seconds.
Promo.
We're gonna pull a Regal. We pull him in the room and say 60 seconds. Give me a reason why we should.
I don't know if you want to do that. You might create your own super villain.
No, man, that's even better. If we find an MJF, Monty, did AO tell you did he say he was completely gone for the day, or did he give any indication of that?
He said he wouldn't be able to make it tonight, but he'll be on Purists tomorrow. So
right. All right, I'll check in with him because if he's available tonight, I kind of want to do that space. That sounds really funny.
That'd be really fucking funny.
Yeah, but man, it's a light day today and a light week in general, which is rare, Monty, because in the world of wrestling in 2022, it seems like things are moving a mile a minute. There's stuff going on all the time.
Well, it's not really been the lightest week. It's just been the lightest day. And normally we do this straight off the back of Dynamite, the very next day. And there's been the day in between. That day has been kind of quiet. So
yeah, it's weird. Wednesday without Dynamite actually really did feel kind of weird and empty, it just felt really weird and empty. Part of me almost wanted, if I was able to, obviously I couldn't because I was at work, but part of me almost wanted to do the stream during the Dynamite time slot, and see if all the people who just kind of want to watch something wrestling related would tune in,
Yeah, that probably would have worked, right? But you're a coward, so
all right. Look at me working a real job, right?
Yeah. Who needs it?
But it's Charlie's birthday. I'm here. I'm free today. I had a nice little afternoon. I cleaned my room and I played an old Monday Cook Pierce podcast while listening, and doing stuff. Monty's quick face there. It's a smooth listen, you know. Just hearing Joe and me talking about Bray Wyatt while it's good stuff, you know.
What a way to
bro,
spend your
yeah,
day.
like, yeah, it's good, man. It's smooth. Listening to me talk, like,
yeah, you know, just listening to myself.
bro, loves himself.
I can't lie. No, actually, to be honest with you, like, you know, to pull the curtain back a little bit. I don't love listening back to myself in general that much, right? And when I listen to the podcast, it's kind of usually like when I hear myself talk. But for whatever reason, something about my microphone setup that time, there was a beautiful combination where I just sounded really rich and smooth, you know. So yeah,
Right.
Manny, what's new, man? What's going on with you, man? What mask are you repping today?
Blue Panther, the second best wrestler of all time, behind Nigel. And
why is Blue Panther one of the 12 best North American wrestlers of the last 40 years, Manny?
My God.
Because he inspired Bryan Danielson.
Mm.
No, man. If you go back and watch his matches, man, he was just fucking
Blue
incredible, man.
Incredible.
Tell us about him, man. Talk to me about Blue Panther.
Like the way that he's able to just like combine moves, and just like the way he just makes like technical wrestling just seem so smooth. That was like really his style. And then when he would go into strike exchanges, he would actually like blast dudes and stuff like that. But like he was just so awesome, man. Just like in the way that he was just able to wrestle anybody, and like just the littlest things that you would see him just work a limb in different ways and pull different body parts. Like he was in a lot of the matches I've been watching, because the whole deep dive I was doing was for El Hijo de Santo and Octagon.
Yeah.
But Blue Panther was always like the Rudo. He was the bad guy on the opposite team, but he ended up just like standing out more than those other guys did in every match he was in.
He's a really good
And
wrestler.
he wasn't even in the matches the whole time. Maybe if the match was like 30, because most of the matches I watched were like 30 plus minutes, and he was only in it only like 5 or 6 minutes most of the time.
But he'd be the highlight of the match.
He'd be the highlight of the whole match.
You know what's funny, Monty? The day of Triple Mania, Alexia tweeted that, like, you know, American wrestlers have the most boring names compared to like wrestlers in Mexico and stuff. And it's so true. If you go on Cage Match and look up, like, it applies to modern day, but even in the past, if you go back to like a AAA card from like 94, and like I was looking at one the other day, I just love the names, bro. There's a guy named Love Machine. Like, what the fuck? His name is Love Machine. That's awesome. You know,
that's our he had a really good match against Blue Panther.
Yeah. There's a wrestler named Blue Demon. Like, that's awesome.
What about this?
I always
Ace Steel versus Bobby Fish gonna go crazy in Impact. Oh man!
Appreciate the super chat, JC.
Thank you so much for the super chat, JC. What's up, man?
Like the one feud you want to go look into is if you look at Voices of Wrestling's, I think YouTube channel, they actually have like the whole playlist of it. It's Blue Panther versus R Bar. They have the whole feud in matches under their thing. R Bar is like real controversial. I don't really want to get into it, but those matches are rare. Like you can just see, and the matches are good because you can see R Bar's like transition into being a horrible, like a bad wrestler, into being a good wrestler by the end of the feud. Because by the end of the feud,
transition into being a bad wrestler. I was like, my god,
he was really bad. Like he wasn't bad, but he was like the in ring wasn't there, but he was like just like an incredible heel.
There was
in the first match, they did like a mask versus a mask match, and it was funny because Blue Panther was the heel and Art Barr was the face, and he was just so beloved by the Mexican people. He got DQ'd in the match because he did a power driver on Blue Panther, and those are illegal in Mexico. And when he did it, people started booing him because they thought he knew what he was doing, and he was telling the ref. Yo no sabe español.
Just shit.
Hi.
Alexia. How you doing, Alexia?
I didn't know Alexia was going to be on today.
Yeah, well, she's here. Happy birthday!
Oh, yeah, it's my birthday.
I can't hear her. Yeah, she's talking like
she's making no noise, but
she's miming.
She's here. Happy birthday, Charlie. You know,
Alexia, talk. Say something. No, we don't got you. We can't hear you. Check your settings. Check your settings. No.
Yeah,
we still can't hear you.
Yeah, if you try your settings, go into your audio. I'm sure she'll figure it out.
For me, I just gotta leave. This happens to me every time I go and I check my settings, and usually the audio inputs are usually configured to something different on your computer.
What a birthday present! She joined you and she left.
Talking in mute. What did I want to say? Yeah, man. No. Listen, Panther's awesome. AAA was super fun. Monty, if you were to go back to like I want to say 94, 93, they were pretty much one of the best promotions in the world. And it's like unreal how over Conan was. Like Conan was like
big star, bro.
Fucking god there. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Conan has some weight, bro. Conan.
Yes, sir.
Conan has one of the worst mask versus mask matches I've ever seen.
Doesn't matter, brother.
That's the thing with mask versus mask matches, bro. Like sometimes they're just like.
I think his match was 8 minutes, and they just had like a brawl.
Yeah,
and the brawl was so bad.
It's all like slow and
tell, like you could just tell Conan was just like out of shape or he was like blown up in the first like 5 minutes because I've heard Conan was a good luchador, and I haven't really seen most of his matches. The only match I've seen was that mask versus mask.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And he just in 8 minutes he got blown up and lost.
Lexia, take two. Talk to us.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
there we go.
Let's go. Oh yeah, happy birthday!
Thank you.
It's still your birthday here for the next 6 hours. So
6.
Yeah.
You guys should try to do the combination art since your screen boxes are like.
Oh wait, is it?
Yeah.
Wait, is it?
There we go.
Yes.
Wait,
I had to figure it out.
Hey,
wait, no, I'm
too
fucking
far
it up.
apart. It don't look right, bro.
the boxes are, hey, but close enough. Charlie's a little smaller, but
Charlie.
that's fine. Yeah.
Listen, I've
we go.
had a few very legal drinks. Let's put it that way.
That's amazing. I was gonna say, Conan was awesome. Sometimes Monty, when I'm really bored, I go on Billy, not Peacock, Billy, because when I want to like go through like an old WCW Nitro, on Peacock, it has all the dub music and like it's edited in like lame, right? You on Billy on a playlist, it gives you the exact TV rip where you can see the TNT logo on the corner of the screen, and it has the 90s commercials. So it literally feels like you're taken back to like 98, right?
Those Peacock edits sound.
Have you ever like watched like an old show on those things?
The thing, the edits are different on the network and Peacock, I believe.
Really?
So no, I think they're still edited on the network, but it's like not as bad. From what
yeah. Peacock, like so the network they edit out music, right? On Peacock, it's the music is edited also, but they also edit out anything that they deem like inappropriate or something like that, So like a lot of like, for example, late 90s wrestling, the show is going to be dramatically altered if you watch it on Peacock. But the point I was making is when I watch it, I'll like just randomly for comfort, like watch an old Nitro on Billy, like I'll skim through it, right? And one of the things that always pops me is just like the energy of Conan. He'll just come out and do the Orale Arriba la Raza stuff, and he has the hoop earring and just the energy is just the swagger is just different, man. I love that dude. So yeah, what's up, Benny?
The one thing I want to say about since my last few matches I was watching was with Santo versus Eddie and Bar. So, like every time he would come out, Santo would come out. He had this theme song where children were the choir and they were singing his song, and it was just so epic. And he would have fireworks and sparklers come down with like a woman on his arm, like that. And then they said that he was the icon of the children. And then just like coming to the ring, he was so epic. And then like once he got to the ring, he would just be like the commentator there, the announcer would be like, "He is El Santo, the icon of the icon for the children, the man that can out wrestle Eddie Guerrero, and the man that will send Art Bar back to the United States, El Santo." And then the crowd will go nuts for him.
I just love the pageantry of old wrestling and how like over the top everything is. I'll bring it up a little bit when we come to talk about the production of Dynamite today. Because there were some notable.
Le Champion, $4.99. Had some extra money, so I decided to give it to my favorite territory. Also, happy birthday to Charlie.
Thank you.
Beautiful
Thank
stuff.
you so
Appreciate you. Dev to Dust $2. This is cinema.
What was he referring to?
I don't know what he's referring to, but
the WrestlePurists podcast at all. I'm gonna say it's Alexia not having like audio.
Yeah,
probably. Young Dende. Yeah, ain't a lightweight, fellas. Queen Riho is back.
She's back.
True.
I was gonna say, the JAS are a bit of a throwback act in the sense that like in the segments, like they have like a zillion members in the ring, right? And like two gorgeous women just standing there just to be there. And it's like it's super reminiscent of just like the old days too in that regard too, because like when I was like skimming through some stuff with like Eddie Guerrero, like when he was in the Filthy Animal stable, like Tori Wilson was just in the stable. And it's like, what did she add? Like nothing really, but she was there for vibes, you know, and why not? You know, she's just there to vibe. And like it was literally like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Conan, and then Billy Kidman, the one white guy, is just hanging there, and then Tori's just standing there and like would occasionally just like whisper something to Billy, like it's like it's just like why I don't know, but she's vibing. Why not? What did I want to say though? Manny mentioned Art Barr, and that took my mind to Eddie Guerrero, his partner, because Monty, I have been watching a lot of Eddie Guerrero. Just watching a lot of his name. What's up? What do you say, Manny?
How do you spell Eddie's name?
Oh, are you testing me here? EDDY. Yeah,
Dave gets mad when people spell it.
That's the Mark spelling. Yeah. The official way that everyone spells it with the
I. That's how he sent his. That's how he used to send letters to him. You know.
Alex, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Yeah, no, I've been watching a lot of Eddie.
Thank you, Alex.
Every phase of his career, like there's just so much there to just enjoy. You know, he was like a super worker at the beginning, and watching him fresh out of Mexico wrestling Too Cold Scorpio, I just watched that yesterday. His ECW match against Too Cold, where he won the television championship. It's like still sensational, and I think it's a testament to certain people when you watch a match, right? And that was 27 years ago, and like in terms of the moves and the style and stuff like that, it's really not particularly far off in any way from like a match you'd see now, which like means that like when it happened, it must have literally blown people's minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so. Yeah. Go ahead, Manny.
I don't want to give too much credit to like again Art Barr, but like if you watch Eddie before he teamed up with him, he was just like
normal,
uncharismatic at all. But then once he started teaming with Art Barr, you can just see him get the personality, and him, and even Eddie was riling up people in the crowd, and people were just throwing drinks at him or like throwing the finger at him and calling him like a traitor for representing the U.S. because that's when he started wearing the U.S. gear.
Rob, $2 super chat for Charles' birthday. Manny, the funny thing about Eddie, that's the thing about him, like he's one of the most charismatic wrestlers we've ever seen, right? And it's like he's one of those guys who he really had to find it, you know? Like you look at him in 95 and he's just this Mexican man who's really good at wrestling, you know, and then like out of nowhere, like 2 years later, he has mad sauce. And then slowly he just turns into like literally the man in the business. And that's kind of what happens a lot. Like a lot of the really charismatic people in the history of the business, like they were not that way at the beginning. You know, very rarely is it the other way around. And MJF, honestly, to me, is like a rarity in that he had so much charisma and mic ability, like pretty much from rip. Like I saw him in MLW in 2018, and I was like, man, this guy's like, what a personality, you know. So it just kind of works out that way sometimes. In general, what's new, Alexia? Like, talk to me. Like, what you been up to?
Wait, I have to make sure I unmute myself. All right.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
I've just been just work.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
What wrestling have you been watching?
We've been watching wrestling together.
We have. Charlie and I have been on Discord watching quite a few wrestling matches.
Talk to me.
Charlie, do you want to tell which one you've been watching?
We were binging Titus Alexander matches the other night because we're just catching up on some of his indie stuff. What did we watch? We watched him versus Nick Wayne, him versus Will Ospreay. And then I watched him and Leo Rush the other day. I've also seen that one. And then
I just realized I'm wearing an Eddie Guerrero t-shirt.
Look at that.
Oh, let me see. I want to see.
Show the match.
Please tell me it's a Scarface one. Oh.
Snake.
Love that.
The classy.
Yeah, but we've just been watching a lot of that. Finally, Charlie and I rewatched Aussie Open and FTR.
Oh.
Awesome
match.
And then
tremendous match.
Great. Aussie Open was great.
Yes.
Yeah. Great match.
From Aussie Open.
FTR did an amazing job wrestling Aussie Open. You know.
Aussie Open did an incredible job in that match. We were also watching. Yes, we watched some GCW stuff as well.
That's unfortunate.
Don't shout at us, chat,
Yeah.
please. It's my birthday. Don't do it. Yeah, just been catching up some stuff.
Yeah.
We caught.
Oh my God, I'm joined by Pina. Hi, Pina. Hi.
Pina, I'm coming to save you.
Hi.
Yes, I'm gonna get you out of there. Don't worry.
Okay, go upstairs now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Listen, that's the thing on a light week like this, and I don't know, it just feels like a light week to me. It just feels like there's more space to just like catch up on stuff, which is what like I've been doing, and it seems like everyone's been doing.
Tuesday was pretty chaotic, you know.
A little bit, I guess.
It was.
I saw some people saying they're gonna like including you, Monty, say they're gonna dual screen NXT and AEW, and like it's impossible to focus on anything when you try to do that. You know, like I've tried doing that before, and it's just like impossible.
You gotta dip in and out at the times when it matters. So it's like you do the double screen, so you know what's going on exactly on both shows, so you can be selective with what match you want to watch, etc. But there's too many like clashes, if that makes sense, of the stuff I wanted to watch, so I ended up just watching Dynamite.
Yeah. It was a great show.
Yesterday.
Yeah, it was a great show too. Like so I can see that. Monty, Israel wanted to ask and wanted you to talk about Mustafa Ali in general on Raw. Like, what did you think of his outing on Raw?
She don't want to know what I think of Mustafa Ali.
Really? For context, for anyone, so the thing about Ali on Raw was Rollins came out and cut a promo. His first promo as United States champion, and Mustafa interrupted him, and he basically was like, "Hey, listen, I know Bobby Lashley told me that I was going to get the next shot at the title, and you're the champion now, so I expect it from you, basically." And he kind of went up to his face and stuff, and he's rocking this yellow shirt, and he has these new braids now. He's feeling himself. I want the girls' opinion. I don't think they've seen it. You know.
I like Mustafa. I've seen clips of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't seen Raw, but
Look at
I
this.
did great.
This goes directly to Manny.
That's real.
Yeah, but the general context was Ali basically was like, look,
Thank you.
He stood up to Seth. Seth was like, hey man, like we're on different levels. You're a nice guy, you're a good father, you're a good community person. Then he cut it off and he punched him in the face and he kind of beat him up around the ring and shit. And at the end of the show, what's it called? Seth Rollins beat Matt Riddle, retained the U.S. Championship, and then
as he should.
And then Mustafa Ali came out of nowhere, jumps from the barricade and attacks Seth Rollins, beats him up, chases him out of the arena, and for the first time in his career, a Monday Night Raw episode ended with Ali standing tall, and again, he's the good guy. He chased him out of the ring, and it appears the next major program is Seth Rollins and Mustafa Ali. So, yeah,
I might actually have to tune into that because I like
You're an
both
Ali
of
fan?
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like both of them. So
I'll definitely catch clips.
They're doing the U.S. title program. Monty, did any of that do anything for you when you watched it on Monday?
I'm not gonna. I don't come on here. I don't lie to our good people.
Right.
I don't come here. I don't do the love everybody sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This did nothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
It actively probably. I kind of roll my eyes at it, thinking like, but it's like Seth, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even the biggest Seth guy.
Okay.
Like Israel is who asked the question.
Mm-hmm. This is like two of her favorites.
He's been putting in that
this
work.
is like an Israel feud. This is made for her.
Steph's been putting in that
she's
work.
Gonna win either way.
Mm-hmm.
Putting in that work, putting people over.
Yeah, he's had a good year.
Dropped to Cody 3 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He finally gets a ball to run with. You know, to put a belt on him, and you think, he can, he can get his teeth into something where like he can really like get himself up to like I said, he's put a lot of people over. Seth Rollins his stock's always going to be high anyway if it's Seth Rollins, but still get some momentum going, etc. Give this fucker fucking Mustafa Ali, bro, and it looks like they're doing this. They look like they're going to do a feud of it, and God bless Mustafa Ali. It's going to be good for him, I'd imagine. But it's like when I look at that roster and I think of people I'd want to feud with Seth Rollins or push, Mustafa Ali just unfortunately isn't very.
Name me three right now.
Right now.
Raw roster. Don't look up
Raw
shit.
roster. Who's even on the Raw roster?
Exactly.
You should know.
Any of them? Gable, Otis, Braun. Any of them?
What?
They're all infinitely more interesting than Mustafa Ali, bro. Like he's not even that great in ring. He's like, that's very much overstated in my opinion.
We have now. There's a lot of pressure now for this match because here's the thing, Monty. I'll ask you this: if this match is really genuinely a great match, will you eat your words and be like, "Yo, I was wrong"?
No, he can still have good matches, bro. He had great matches with Buddy, like really good matches. He's got them in him. He's got like really good matches in him. Mm-hmm. But like overall, he's alright. He's like he's not a good promo. He tries hard.
Can I devil's advocate real quick, Monty? Because I was mixed on this. I didn't. Yeah, right. Their head-to-head promo, like for me, it was just kind of like what I was really looking for. More so was just like I hope it gets over, right? I really hoped it got over, and the crowd didn't do much until like they got physical. But what I can say to their credit is at the end of the show when he chased Seth out, they chanted Ali. Ali chants closed the show of Raw. So here's my thing. You talk about how, oh man, Seth like. He finally has a championship and they're throwing him Ali. I'd almost think that he almost invites the challenge of trying to elevate somebody in a program rather than just like work with another guy who's established. I think he wants like this type of situation because it's probably a giant notch on his belt if he has a program with Ali and coming out of it, Mustafa Ali is now a player, like a genuine viable player. So we'll see in that regard. Becky tried to do it with Liv Morgan and like Doudrop and stuff, and the results were like very middling at best. But I'd imagine the mentality is the same from the husband here. So, husband, boyfriend, are they married?
I think so.
Is Becky just his baby mama? Like, what's going on there? Anyway,
yeah, they're married.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens. That was that. Mustafa Ali, best of luck to him. You know what made me way more annoyed, Monty, than that shit? Just shoehorning Elias in this US title scene. Like it was just like why? Like who asked for this? That like made me want to turn off the TV. Like it was just like go away. Not that I have a problem with him as a character, but like he's standing on the outside during like the Riddle Rollins match, and it was just like fuck off. Like why are you here?
Bro, don't this.
Wait, has Elias got his beard back?
Yes, he got his beard back. He's back as Elias. Yeah. They did a segment where he made his return officially. He had a concert. Matt Riddle came out with bongo drums, and he offered to perform with him. And said he had bongo drums, and he was like, "Come on, bro, hit my bong." And
it was very wink.
They stayed the same.
Yeah, he was like, "Hit my bug," and then it was just like, "What are we doing?"
Crowd was into it as well, bro. That's what.
Yeah, that's what made me so mad. That's what made me so mad, bro. Like,
I'm not shocked at all.
I'm speechless.
He said, you want to hit my bomb, bro? And everyone's like, "Hey!"
Hit my bug. I'm like, oh,
Lisa.
Die.
Oh, yeah.
I was so angry, Monty. And then the Raw rating came out and it was good, and I was so mad.
Yeah, bro. It's like we was on the podcast on Monday saying like, "Yo, if this Raw's booty, then you know what I mean? We're gonna have to throw Road Dogg to the wolves, bro." And he popped the rating.
You know what? I'll throw in some hanger select. Road Dogg doesn't know that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna throw a hanger selector. I was told that when Raw went off the air, like the team was like, "Yo, that show kind of sucked." And then, and the thing is, they like were immediately starting to kind of veer the heat towards Road Dogg in a like, yeah, he's not used to the thing kind of way, right? And then the rating came out, and like the energy completely switched, and they were like, "Oh man, he did such a fucking great job!" Like, "Oh man, that's awesome." So it shows you how wrestling and the world wrestling entertainment is.
Yeah, it's all you go week by week. Next week's coming up might not be as good as the 1.8 because last week's wasn't so great. You don't know. It's hard to predict. Like we tried to predict, it's impossible.
When it comes to ratings, this week's Dynamite did what was it, 750, I believe, and
750, 760.
750
Jesus.
something.
I don't know why I just remember the number.
Yeah, it's like a .26, and then NXT did I think 680 or something like that, and like a .18. Very closer than I thought, actually. Like
That's
way
big for
closer than I thought.
NXT as well. Like when you talk about averages, like of course the last night they got their ass kicked, but that was obviously kind of expected, I'd guess. Even if AEW is out of its normal time slot and day, like it's still the flagship show, you know.
I'm sorry right there, Monty. So many people were like throwing in all these caveats before we even got the rating, like, oh, they're out of their normal time slot, they're this or that. You know, NXT's throwing their main roster guys. I'm like, bro, like my mindset was like, bro, AEW's gonna dominate them because, bro, it's AEW Dynamite with 4 championship matches. I don't give a fuck if Luke Gallows is cameoing on a developmental show. Like, what person who likes wrestling is going to go, you know, I really want to watch John Moxley versus Hangman Page for the title, but man, Luke Gallows is on NXT, bro. Like, it's like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so even going into it, man, it was like, I knew AEW's number was just going to be whatever it was going to be. It was just going to be some random number and demo. Right. But the thing that was kind of interesting to me going into it was NXT were obviously going to try and load up the show with main roster talent like they did. There was a main roster talent in nearly every segment on the show. That's so it was just going to be interesting to me going into it anyway to see how much that would grow NXT's audience from their normal audience, and if AEW Dynamite would take away from their audience and see like kind of how that works. Or
did you see the quarter hours?
In that regard, they performed pretty strong, to be honest. Obviously, Dynamite, you know, that won the night in terms of wrestling. But in terms of comparing it to what they usually do, NXT, you know, they didn't get embarrassed at all. So
it was not an embarrassing loss. What I thought was just hilariously fascinating was the quarter hours came out and it showed like what segments like each show won, and Dynamite had a massive lead in, which is why it started with like over 1 million viewers at the beginning.
Yeah, just over 1 million.
Just over 1 million, and then like after the first quarter, which was like the Death Triangle Trios match, it kind of like went back down to like Reality, which is like in the 700 range, and it kind of stayed steady, and like the quarters were very close between both shows, except for when MJF came on, like the ratings shot up for AEW, and posthumously there were 2 parts of the show where Dynamite lost NXT. One of them was Gallows and Anderson's match where they beat NXT, and
real wrestlers.
The devil. Wrestling fans are funny, bro. Like
say that again.
Like, I'm just picturing Monty, the people at home literally flipping, and they're like, "Oh no, Good Brothers on, bro. I can't. I gotta switch." They won that segment, and then like later on, freaking whatever Quincy Elliott did, I didn't see it. His
Zion Quinn.
Oh wait, I think I saw
Zion Quinn versus Quincy Elliott.
I saw a clip of that.
Our good friend Rob had some things to say about that match.
What do you say?
Rob always has something.
I think he said it was the worst match of the year.
I believe it.
Zion I've not seen it, man. So
Zion Quinn, for those who don't, like, the dude's basically a glorified male model who was hired because he's like big and handsome. And the hope was like, okay, well, hopefully he just learns how to wrestle, and then we just push him and make him a big star. And literally, the reason why you don't hear about him more in NXT is because he's that bad. Like, he's a really, really, really terrible wrestler, and they're kind of just holding on to hope that he catches on. And to this point, he has not.
You can see it in the booking as well, but you can tell that they're hoping he catches on eventually, because they're not doing anything crazy with him, but they're just keeping him around, like hoping. Like, he's always getting matches here and there, and you know they're just hoping that they can wait out on him. But I don't think it's going to come, unfortunately.
You know, Charlie, who's the most handsome man that's like an incredible worker in wrestling?
Oh my god, that's a question. Why am I being asked this?
I'm just asking. I'll throw it to Lexi then if you don't have an answer right away. I'm just curious, like
handsome.
Someone
said, "Is Manny okay?" Manny,
you alive? Come back to this later.
Come back because
the answer is Dax Harwood, by the way.
No, I was just for
not
crazy.
True.
I just found a crazy match. I was just amazed by it.
What man is Mark Davis? Shout out to Mark Davis.
Shout out to Mark Davis.
Shout out to Dax Harwood.
It's Kerry Von Erich in a AAA match.
Oh God bless.
Speaking of Kerry Von Erich,
you're gonna have to send me the link because
Yeah,
I love me some Von Erich. You know, I'll get the critics and the historical nerds who love work rate and stuff might not be the biggest Von Erich fans, but they're just pop me, you know.
Yeah, you know. Speaking of Von Erich,
before we get any further, we haven't said to like and share the video and
Yeah,
subscribe.
Lord, we got 100. We got like 150 people. We got like 150 people in here right now. So everyone, make sure that you like, subscribe. If you're feeling generous, send a super chat. That's always appreciated. But importantly, make sure you like the video. Yes. If you're not subscribed, why are you here?
Yeah.
Leave a comment after we're not live anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Monty, you know what I love about the Thursday pod? I feel like we got to work less hard to just draw a house. It's almost like we've gotten to a point where the Thursday pod it almost like has like people just know the Thursday pod is a Thursday pod, you know?
Tradition, brother, you know?
Yeah, it's like
Monday night Raw, Thursday night pod, you know?
Yeah, and so like I feel like other days
it was a Triple A match. It was a Steve Malone match.
Same thing, you know? Von Erich's in Mexico, pop.
Exactly.
We need more of it.
Monty,
get Kevin back.
Monty, I feel like on Mondays and other days we kind of have to like twerk for the viewers and shit, you know, to bring them in. And
on Mondays, honestly, bro, look, I know we said it on Monday just gone, but I don't care. Like, Monday, I'm just Monday is just where I show up.
Viewers, though.
Yeah,
there was like over 100 people in the chat.
And Mondays there to just vibe. I was gonna say though, speaking of Von Erich, man, I watched a couple other matches from Royal Quest. And Monty, did you see Shota Umino versus Will Ospreay?
I did not.
Good match.
If you watch, it's not even, it goes beyond the match because the match is good. I'd go like 4 stars on it, but even beyond that, Monty, there's so many pop-worthy things for me and you because it's just Shota looking like a total stud, athletic, hitting the ropes hard. His hair is flowing in the wind, throwing great elbows, great fire, and I'm like, this is all I need from this guy, man. That's all.
The crowd loved him. He was so over with the crowd. It was great.
Literally all he's doing, Monty, he's hitting the ropes like 96 Sean with his hair flowing in the wind and like throwing really great elbows. And I'm like, this is perfect. He's ready. He has a great look. His gear is awesome. He has this like light brown orangish hair. He just looks awesome. Like, his
look is certainly something. I can't remember who I was talking to about it.
Yeah.
It might have been Ash or somebody, but we was talking about like the UK excursions.
Yeah.
And just like in recent years, I haven't been quite what you would have hoped them to be. You know,
really bad, actually.
And obviously, Shota is obviously an example of it. But regardless of what you say about it, ever since he went on excursion to the UK and came back, like say for example for Forbidden Door, you know, the amount he grown in that time is obviously kind of it's very noticeable. So
I thought
he got
Shota
something out of it.
I thought Shota was asking. He lost his mojo. And for some reason, when he wrestled at Forbidden Door, he found it again.
Yeah.
And then I said, man, this guy robbed UK fans during the pandemic. This guy was
reeling it in, you know.
Reeling it in. And once he got in front of AEW crowd, he just showed out like this is the guy everybody's wanted to see. And since his AEW match, he's been really good in the UK again. So
listen,
Jericho opened his eyes.
Confidence goes a long way in wrestling, and if you're in a full arena where people are just going crazy for you, and you just feel like you're him, that's all it takes for you to really be on your way. You know what I mean? Like, and I just think it's so key for the developmental aspect of young wrestlers that like they wrestle in front of live crowds, like live crowds who can cheer and boo, and like there's a bunch of them. I'm very encouraged by what I've seen from Shota Umino. Ren Narita is a very good worker. Chris brought up a point that like he's not crazy about the Shibata cosplay, and the more I think about it, I could totally see that point, to be honest with you, because you want to know where the individual kind of comes out of that. But even still, he's such a sound wrestler. I think him, Yuya, Shota, they're going to be very necessary. Yeah, Yuya Uemura, awesome wrestler.
I love his hair.
That's what I'm saying. These guys have great hair.
Great hair.
Yeah.
Great hair. Yeah. Yes. I love that like just big poofy curly hair that some of these Japanese wrestlers
good.
It's so man, he said it's not fair. It's so 80s babyface, and And Monty, what I love about it is when baby faces have that hair, they get to do that thing where they kind of have they're clutching their fist, like they're coming onto the heel, right? And the heel's kind of backing off, like whoa, and they're kind of bobbling their head a little bit, like I'm gonna get you, and they're kind of bobbling their hair and it's fucking shaking all over the place, and the crowd is going crazy. Love that stuff. So yeah, New Japan, hopefully, they're saved. Hopefully,
we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we'll probably talk about. Well, we should probably talk about the big happenings this week. Obviously, as I'm sure everyone watching this already knows, Hangman Adam Page was injured during the main event of AEW Dynamite on Tuesday versus Jon Moxley. He was knocked out. Call it, yeah. He was knocked out during the match when Jon Moxley nailed him with a lariat. He also landed pretty awkwardly, like on his jaw/neck. He was out. Doctors checked on him, ref checked on him, match was stopped. He was stretchered off. And then there was quite a lot of awkward time filling to close the show. Shortly after the show, it was confirmed by PW Torch that it was definitely legitimate. It wasn't a work. Like a couple people obviously started assuming, because that always happens with wrestling fans. That's just one of those things. Like someone could get shot in the head live on fucking TV, bro, and someone will be like, "It's a worker." And you want to know the worst thing about the work people is like the air of like, I don't know, man. Like the way they're so condescending about it, it's like, oh, you guys are all getting worked, ha ha ha. Like, bro, you got knocked out, like clean up. You got knocked clean out, bro. Like,
look, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I thought it was a work, and I thought he did it. I thought they did a work KO knockout, and I said that fucking ruled. And
then
he didn't move. Like, when Taz took the glasses off, and you knew.
Taz took his glasses off, had tears in his eyes. It was like, all right, nah, this is for real.
Yeah.
It was crazy because Excalibur was trying to no sell it and just like go like AEW Dynamite next week. He's gonna have the logo. Yeah. Taz is like, wait, whoa, hold on.
It definitely clicked for me. Like at the moment, it was just like, oh shit, because he didn't move. Then when Excalibur kept putting over the referee, you could tell, like because it was kind of like weird how much he kept putting him over. Obviously, it wasn't weird now in hindsight because we know what we know. But yeah, Hangman suffered a concussion. He went to a local medical facility. He went to a hospital, a neck specialist or something like that, concussion specialist or something. And he got diagnosed with a concussion. Hangman Adam Page then went to Twitter. I think it was yesterday daytime. Said that he's had a panini and he's feeling good. Meltzer did an update as well, saying that Hangman was. I think this was before the Hangman tweet. To be fair, Meltzer's update was something like he's very appreciative about how the situation was handled, etc., etc. And so obviously he's gonna have to follow the AW concussion protocol, and he'll be back when he's back. But luckily, it didn't seem like it was that bad. So scary, but. It's a shame as well because the match was really shaping up like really great.
Oh, it was awesome, man. It's so good.
It's gonna sound selfish, but I hope it's not that bad, so he can still wrestle the way he does. Because once you get a concussion, it's just you can't really handle those kind of blows anymore. Because it's easier for you to get like a concussion again or KO'd. So hopefully his chin's all right.
Just don't care.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, you just do a Daniel, so just
or you could be like Chuck Liddell, and just get KO'd every time somebody hits him in the
head. We don't talk about Chuck Liddell. It's sad, Let's throw through some super chats real quick before we continue talking about our friend Hanger. Short-term sports question for Monty and Charlie. Who's had the worst last 6 months, CM Punk or the Tories? CM Punk's still technically employed, so we'll go with him.
Or the Tories.
Birthday to me, Liz Truss are out.
Unlike Liz Truss.
The Tories are the Conservatives, which are one of the political parties in the UK.
I think it's like
we don't like them.
I think it's like the Republicans in America.
Yeah.
I think I'm bad with politics.
Yeah, it's our Republicans.
That's such an insane name for Republicans. The Tories.
Monty told me off the massive lifelong Tory.
Hangman and Montel, the draw of WrestlePurists.
Oh my God, Muhsin Iqbal Raja, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you.
God bless.
Total facts. And thank you so much for your perceptiveness, sir. God bless you.
Zetopia Productions, 199 super chat. Happy birthday, Charlie. Ready to admit Bron Breakker is him.
There's nothing to admit. Thank you for the super chat.
Damn. Another happy birthday for Charlie. This time from
Bron is he's working. He's working Dragunov this weekend, so he's gonna have another great match that Charlie's gonna have to judge. Yeah, he's working.
Dragunov is incredible, and I'm sure he will carry him.
That match is gonna be gas. Like,
yeah, because Dragunov is him.
Whatever.
There's a pay-per-view this weekend.
Whatever.
Yeah,
is it this weekend?
Yeah,
the Halloween Havoc was a Tuesday show.
I thought that, I was gonna say, wasn't that NXT? Okay,
it's gonna be a premium live event this year. So
what day is it?
Saturday or Sunday.
Probably on a Sunday or something.
Oh, I'm out.
Yeah, Ben Carter. Ben Carter's.
But yo, super chat. Happy birthday, Charlie. Also, thank you for acknowledging Kenny Omega as the best Canadian wrestler since Bret Hart. Back up, Hangman.
Thank you.
Fair, you know. What else we got here?
Joe said in chat, "Oh no, please don't get Monty started on politics. He'll get us banned."
Hold on. I don't know.
Shout out to Joe.
What is the origin of the real
pastime besides wrestling?
Listen, bro. You know Joe. He's just here to stir the pot. He should be banned from the comments, to be honest. But you know. Mad King 199. What is the origin of the Rio Triple H meme? It's from the Wednesday Night Wars last time around when I think that was one of the times when. No, what is the actual origin of it? Rio what a Rio segment drew a huge number and kicked the shit out of Triple H, but I can't remember exactly what it was for.
I think
it's basically Rio's actually a draw. Like that's legit. That's a legit thing. You know what the internet does the whole Triple H fears Rio thing. So
the segment went head to head. Listen. It went head to head with, I believe it was Finn Balor versus Adam Cole for the NXT Championship, and Rio won. Wow. And so, and from that point onward, it was like Rio clears, Rio destroys Triple H. So, yeah.
Still going to this day, you know.
I
mean, you hear the pop for when she comes out, man. It's next level.
Mm-hmm.
She is beast though. Like she is great. You know,
Rio is beast.
She is.
I like how she ran out and then like she got all the cheers and she just stopped, soaked it in, just walked to the ring the rest of the way.
Yeah. Love
that dive she hit to the outside was crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The way
it was hilarious.
She's great, man.
Mm-hmm.
She's great. This seems okay. This is a late chat earlier from when we were talking about the network thing. It says, "Is Benoit censored?" And this is the weird thing. I don't know what it is like on Peacock, but like with Benoit,
the censor over his face.
With Chris Benoit on the network, at least he's still on everything that he was in. But like when you're trying to click through an episode of Raw or something, it just won't name him. So for example, it will say like Eddie Guerrero and tag partner team up to face Eddie Briscoes, and you'll click on it and it will be Benoit. They just don't name him.
It'll say like Kurt Angle in singles action.
Or United States Championship match, and it'll be Benoit defending. You know.
And I remember in the description for WrestleMania 20, it said like Shawn Michaels and Triple H go head to head for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's just like okay.
Yeah, stuff like this. Eddie Guerrero.
It was all that.
So yeah, he's on it, but he's kind of censored. You know.
I remember they did a Monday Night War documentary series on the network, and when they had to talk about like the Radicals and like the Eddie clique of him and Malenko and all those guys, right? Like when the people spoke about them, they just talked around, but like they're like, yeah, man, when Eddie, those guys, Eddie and Dean and Ray, they were so good. it's Dean and Ray and Eddie and those other cruiserweights. Like, yeah, and they do that, and it's playing footage that in the footage you see Benoit in frame, but like in some angles they try to like kind of crop him a little bit, but clearly they couldn't fully. So it was just comedy, you know. And Israel actually said this to me yesterday. She said that she feels that when people talk about Dean in documentaries, Malenko, that he's just a Benoit stand-in. Like, so, you know, those like, yeah, man, Dean was such a great technician. He was one of those technicians in the 90s, man, that just him and Eddie just really changed the game, you know. Like, yeah, him and Dean.
And it's funny too, is Kurt Angle will never let you forget about Benoit was alive because he'll just keep talking to you about him.
Because those are his best matches.
Yeah, those are his best matches. It'd be like, man. He won't let that man. He won't let that man die. He just keep him alive.
That man,
Chris Jericho, the other one's doing it.
That man, Chris posted about him the other day. But yeah, like Kurt Angle, he'll be like, "Listen, bro, me versus Chris at Royal Rumble 03. And that shit was crazy. Check it out." Peacock.
Was it? Oh, many will know about what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. the Ryan Satin Chris Jericho thing.
I have no idea.
I still have it here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it.
What happened?
I think Chris Jericho was wearing like a Benoit shirt, something, some sort of tribute in some way, like a small little nod. You know what I mean? Because obviously, you know, they were friends, and Jericho still, you know, Jericho definitely acknowledges what he did, but also acknowledges that he was one of his best friends as well. You know, so it's definitely a weird thing when he talks about it.
There's a bit of like I don't know if the word's denial, but like when he talks about him, he always says how like the guy I knew, like I swear to you, the guy that I knew was a great person, a great family man. I was around their family all the time, and what happened. I don't know why it happened. There's multiple things that caused it, but what he insists is just I knew a great person. It's like kind of
Then anyway, so Jericho wore this some sort of nod towards Benoit. Ryan Satin like criticized him about it on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And Jericho jumped on Twitter and like recorded this video basically saying, "Who the fuck are you, Ryan Satin?" And just,
Let me see if I can find it.
Try to find it, because it's fucking.
Do you remember when Ryan said he was at the barbershop and some guy was like, "Yeah, so like, did you see Bad Bunny on like the Royal Rumble or something?" Like, does it clearly fabricated the story or something?
Here, I found it.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And also, I get a couple smart-ass remarks here for an Instagram post that I put up of this great fan art that somebody drew of me with kind of the spirits of Eddie and Benoit behind me. And I said I dedicate the match to those guys. Yeah, I know what Chris did. I think about it every single day. I was involved more than any one of you are. So trust me, I understand the horrible, horrible events that took place. I'll never forgive it. I'll never understand it. But I have my reasons for doing what I'm doing. So don't anybody tell me, anybody make smart-ass remarks about what I say and what I do, including that son of a bitch Ryan Satin. He can go spread that news. Nobody tells me what to do. I have my reasons, and I think about the loss of Nancy Benoit and Daniel Benoit every single
Nobody told me what to do.
Bro,
it's so funny. You will believe it, the visual too, because he's sitting down with his suit's all open up with, you can see his skin, then he's like leaning back on a chair with the smug face the whole time, talking about how sorry he is, and then just
my god, you know
incredible.
That'll lead me to this next question, Monty. What do you make of Chris Jericho's extension and the fact that he's officially now a named producer and member of creative in AEW?
Basically, he's anyway, bro. Like, it's obvious
he's doing all that shit.
It's what I mean. Like, he was in Tony's ear, and Tony leaned on him a lot anyway. So now that he's got a title that includes it, I doubt it makes actual much difference to how he operates day to day there. So good for him, man. Obviously, he must have got a nice pay bump, you know. So
I don't remember if I mentioned it to you guys, but the first Dynamite after All Out this year. Charlie.
I clicked it too early. I clicked the camera on too early. I didn't mean to do that. Continue.
Yeah, but
keep putting Jericho over.
Yeah. So the first Dynamite after All Out was essentially a Bryan Danielson show, Monty. And then I don't know what the specific reasons are, but my headcanon is he told Tony, "I'm not doing this shit every week, bro. It's too much work." And because every Dynamite since has been like basically con Jericho Productions. So I'm not surprised by the official naming of this role because he basically has been uncreative. He's basically been like putting these things together with Tony.
Jericho loves it all as well, bro. Like,
what do you mean?
He just know that he loves like putting, especially when he does his segments and he wants to get someone else over. He just loves doing all that shit, putting it together.
It's Jericho as hell. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It's so like he thinks he's like his own version of Vince. I feel like sometimes when he does something.
Yeah, he definitely thinks he's like a mastermind.
Yeah. Yes.
Which like it fucking rules because he's like 50-year-old Ring of Honor world champion.
He's looking at Hager. He's like, you're gonna wear this hat, right? And when they take this hat off your head, you're gonna be so mad. It's gonna get over. It's gonna get massively over because it's funny. It's your hat. And Hager's probably like, yeah, okay. And all right, Chris. You're in a JAS now because you're part of the JAS. And she's like, okay, and like, yeah. So.
He's a good kid.
He's a good kid.
One of the greatest ROH champs of all time.
I'm curious what the Jericho fingerprints are going to look like on people like some of the people that we haven't seen much of lately, which is like FCR, Ricky Starks, Will Hobbs, those types of guys. Just really curious what ends up happening with those types of guys because Ricky and Will, we haven't seen either guy since their match, right? At Arthur Ashe.
Yeah, real weird. People want to see them as well, bro. Like they're the sort of acts that like they're the sort of talents that if they're not on the TV for like a couple episodes, people notice it and they want to see them. That's literally for both of them, Hobbs and Starks. Or I wonder what's going on there. Maybe it's nothing, and maybe it's just rotational issues and struggling to fit them in and stuff like that. But when you look at some of these Rampage lineups,
oh my god,
you have to wonder.
They've been doing a lot of Ring of Honor stuff, and I think I wonder if that's to do with them potentially getting a TV deal and stuff. So maybe they've just not had time to fit other guys on.
Thank you for mentioning this, Charlie. Tony just recently talked about that. Now his goal is for a deal of some kind for Ring of Honor broadcasting in 2023.
Need that.
Yes,
Monty. I think cable TV is too much ratings pressure for Ring of Honor. I think it's too much ratings pressure to have to put on Dynamite, Rampage, and Ring of Honor, and they all have to draw a certain number because you're kind of wearing yourself thin at that point. And I think that if you were to put it on streaming or YouTube, it alleviates that pressure and just allows you to just put on a logical show for Ring of Honor. Because I feel like, on streaming, you can just build a show and set some guys up and build it up and be traditional. I feel like on TV, it's like, oh, fuck, no, we have to get a certain amount of people to watch every week. So you have to do like certain matchups and stuff like that. And which is fine, but it's just
what about streaming, man, for something like that. It's streaming that's actually accessible to people.
Sure. I think that'd be better than like an actual channel for Ring of Honor. What's up, Manny?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about where this ROH show comes because I'm going to be watching it every week. It's my favorite stuff on AEW. So all you guys complaining about it can suck it.
Honor's real.
Honor's real.
Honor never dies.
Let's identify.
ROH is being carried by AEW is being carried by ROH and
getting carried by Dalton Castle.
Yes.
And I'm going to Final Battle when it happens.
Me too.
Oh boy,
I'm going to be there. I already called into work. I already let them know I'm not showing up.
That's amazing. Can we identify right now?
We need a Manny.
Yeah, we do. We need a Manny vlog. We need like all that. What are the active Ring of Honor storylines in AEW? Like, can we identify that? Because so many people talk about these things, and it's like, what are the Ring of Honor storylines?
Did you not see Jerry Lynn get power drived on the stage on Wednesday?
I did. That's the obvious one. Jericho stuff is technically Ring of Honor, but it's like that's an AEW storyline too. Like
you got Ward.
Yeah, all of them are.
Yeah, they're all like
they're all on AEW TV. So
no, because a lot of people will make the criticism of too much ROH on AEW, right? And I want to say I get it, but at the same time, a lot of what is allegedly ROH storylines, they're just AEW storylines with extra.
That's all it is, bro. So people are just nitpicking and trying to find stuff that you don't know. Like, trust me, bro. Like AEW, over the past few months, like you shouldn't have to try this hard to like try find things that you don't like about the thing. Like you know, there is legitimate criticisms out there, especially with all the mayhem that's gone on backstage. So you know, I think that it feels kind of forced, you know, because like you was just alluding to, like all the stuff that is Ring of Honor based on AEW television is people and storylines that they'd probably be doing anyway, but just with Ring of Honor titles and just belts, you know, which at the end of the day adds to the storylines. So you know, it's like the Wheeler Yuta Daniel Garcia stuff doesn't. It would still hit because they're both great wrestlers and they're both on great trajectories. But like you add the pure title into that, and it just gives it an extra layer. You know, Jericho obviously Jericho being all over the TV, that's normal, and now that he's got a world title with it, it just gives it an extra wrinkle. You know, so like all of it, man, all of it is like involving stars that you'd expect to see on the TV anyway. So. You know,
I think that comment that says from the name I don't even know. Spitting right there.
Yeah, we're not gonna read that out, but I can open it up.
Don't let the tea merchant Ollie Davis.
Oh, I didn't see Ollie Davis' name brought up there.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say
is Ollie Davis a
Wrestle Talk?
I was about to say, who is that? I have never heard of that man in my life before.
Is he the bald guy?
No. He has a white hair now. Here's the thing, Monty. To be honest with you, you know, the whole too much ROH on AEW TV, like that's the thing. Like I don't, because to me it's just they're all like mostly AEW storylines. What I will say is, you know, I'm not gonna say too many belts is disorienting or confusing. No, but what it does kind of feel to a degree like a booking crutch because. You know, in the past, it was a challenge for Tony. It's like, how do we keep everybody relevant and have this guy feel like he's fighting for something and give him something to fight for and give him a belt and shit like that, right? And look at the example of Orange Cassidy. He's somebody who's been over since the beginning of AEW, right? And you know, he's somebody that Tony's always wanted to like, you know, give something to, right? But you can't have him win a championship, right? And you know, there's too many people, quote unquote, in line for the TNT belt. But now that there's so many championships, you can just throw the All Atlantic one at him, you know, because there's just so many of them. And I do think that it's a bit of a situation now where it's like, you know, everybody that like has some relevance in AEW, you can just throw a title at them because there's like 72 of them. And again, it's not confusing or disorienting or like, you know, I'm not like sitting there and my head is spinning like, oh my God, what does this one mean? Like, I'm not like that. But I think there is something to be said about how, you know, winning a championship in AEW may not be as momentous as it was a year, 2 years ago because there's so many of them. And so, for example, Orange Cassidy winning the the All Atlantic Championship, great moment, amazing match.
So good.
But at the same time, what does it mean as an accomplishment? Because what does the All Atlantic Championship mean? You know, PAX just held it for in like a couple months. He defended it in, you know, shows that weren't broadcast on TV, and then he just loses it. You know, like Orange Cassidy wins the belt, like that's cool. But like, does that have the meaning of the AEW Championship? Maybe I'm being a belt mark, but I just that's kind of how I see it when it comes to that.
He won it because he's cool.
I wonder how the people that watch the show and then ROH or another title from New Japan or something come on the screen. Do they just like grab their head and just like, oh man, I can't handle this. Oh my God, there's another belt. Oh my God. And then they just switch the channels or like come on, it's not that serious. Like I don't know,
they
man.
roll their eyes extra hard.
Yeah, right.
No,
that's
just don't get it.
I do think though there is something to be said of if every segment someone has like 3 sets of championships on their shoulders, you know, then what is the meaning of any of these? You know, like, well, is it that special if everyone can have one? That's all I'm saying.
Well, look, my whole thing is like, well, I mean, people are praising AEW for being like an inclusive company from like they have different companies. Then once these guys have belts from other companies and they show up with them, and you're just like, oh no, we can't have that. You know, it's just then like some of the people I was talking to because they were commenting on my tweet I said that they're like, yeah, we'd rather just AEW just be by themselves. I'm like, then what's the whole point of, you know, them being like WWE?
Here's what I'll raise you, Manny. FTR, they're holding the IWGP Tag Team Championships. Mm-hmm. They're the Ring of Honor Tag Champions. They're the AAA Tag Champions. They're not defending any of these belts, and they're complaining on social media about, you know, not getting a main title shot for AEW, and then on TV you see these guys. It just looks preposterous to me that they're in a segment where they're holding 3 sets of championships, but they're talking about fighting for the AEW title. The messaging you're telling the audience is that's the belt that matters, and that's fine. That's your company, right? That's the belt that matters, right? then don't even bring the other ones to TV then, because it's like, what are they, trinkets? Are they toys? Are you going to defend them on TV or not? If you're not going to defend any of those 3 championships on TV, but you're holding them and saying, well, we want this one, it's like what? Like, am I the only one that thinks that's kind of weird? Like, that's kind of weird to me.
FTR are just weird people.
Like FTR, defend one of your belts. Like, what are we doing here? Like, to me, I think that in this period where they haven't been getting an AEW championship shot, I think it would have been totally fine to just have them on TV, having an ROH tag title run on AEW TV. Why not? We can't hear
me. I can hear you.
We can hear you.
It's just him.
It's crazy.
No,
we can hear you. That's what matters.
I feel like FTR are the only people.
Hello.
We can hear you again.
Someone mute him.
Hangman done that thing when his headphones fell out. He was talking too much.
Him.
I'm back.
He does. Like, it's 2 weeks in a row now. He's talking that much. And when someone else tries to talk, he thinks that his shit's not working.
No. I'm back. So my headphone came on. I thought
headphones fell off.
Yeah, I thought that Monty was muted, and and I realized I was like, no, I'm the one with my headphones out.
But yeah, FDR defended against the big Samoan guy and Gates of Agony, to defend against him.
And then they're going to defend against the Kingdom.
Are they?
It seems like what Hanger was saying is probably definitely mostly true for the most part. But obviously, in the past week or so, they have defended though, and it seems like they're setting up other stuff for them as well. So hopefully, it seems like over the past few weeks, Tony's decided, let's get these guys back defending titles. Having actual tag matches, because the amount of when you look at where their momentum was, like let's say
June
after the Briscoes and after the Bucks match, that's when they were like insanely hot and over. The amount of tag matches they've had since then, 2-on-2, is like definitely a lot less than you would expect. It's like a very, very, very small handful.
I think Tony just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna have these 2 over tag teams. Just I'm just gonna throw them out there and see what happens. The Acclaim and FTR, and I'm pretty sure that's a match for Full Gear."
Yeah, I'm very curious what the crowd does there, because they love both teams. Regardless of what people on Twitter say.
I don't think they'll do Acclaimed FTR. I don't know, man.
Really, you don't think so?
So you think Silver Glory's beating him?
How do you?
I don't know, man. I think they might do a 3-way. I don't know, bro. Like,
God,
they might do some shenanigans, because like FTR versus Acclaimed is like
face versus face.
It's like.
And 2 of the biggest faces.
Yeah, it's not even like I'm not even super, and like I'm not. I would preferably wouldn't do it if I had the option to, but I'm not like one of those super anti face versus face guys. But when it's FTR and the Acclaimed, like I'm pretty against that.
Do you really want the crowd picking a team to boo in that match? Like, not at the moment.
And Charlie, the thing about it is the problem with face versus face is it secretly exposes who's not as over, and that creates actually lasting damaging effects sometimes. Face versus face is literally the reason why Hangman Page kind of, I don't even know what the word would be. He was hurt by face versus face. Yeah, face versus face against CM Punk was very damaging to him, because for all the great work AEW did pushing him and getting him over, the reality is he's not CM Punk in stature, and the fans in the arena are going to cheer Punk more than Hangman. And it's going to cause a reaction where some of the fans are going to then in turn boo Hangman. And again, that can last and trickle, show to show. Look at the match of Moxley. He got booed at points in that match.
He was getting booed most of that match, but they were in Cincinnati. So
sure. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The face versus face, it's just tricky and damaging, and you don't want, like, God forbid for me, a situation where they do FTR and Acclaimed, and out of nowhere the fans are like, you know what? We're just going to pick the Acclaimed. Fuck FTR. And just boo them.
I do think they would pick the Acclaimed just because they've been on TV more. They've been the more consistent tag team in AEW at the moment. And I do think the crowd will get behind them.
Max's feelings would get so hurt if, like...
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah. But Yeah, I just don't think they should do that match yet. Someone in chat said, I've lost it. FTR vs Gun Club would probably be the Full Gear match. If they did that for the Ring of Honor titles, I wouldn't mind it.
Let's go, Gun Club, baby.
Yes. Even though me and Austin Gunn have beef, but we don't talk about that.
You guys are just cheering because it's yet another mid pay-per-view matchup for FTR.
No, it's not even that. It's just another team that we can cheer that aren't FTR.
Sorry, Alexia.
They're the heels.
This is bullshit.
What happened to this business? Is there no? There's nothing sacred anymore.
I mean, they won me over. That's all I can say. I just want to see Gun Club squash FTR.
The video AEW put out of the Gun Club in the FTR cosplay made me laugh so much.
Oh my God, and whenever they came out,
personality I've seen Morrissey's display. That was such a good video.
I don't know what happened after. I thought we were gonna get the Gun Club match, but then after FTR had that match with Aussie Open, I haven't seen the Gun Club at all near FTR, and it's just been FTR and the embassy.
They're still teasing it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying I need to watch the product?
No. No, it was a video they put out on Twitter. It's okay.
Manny's Monty.
Hold on, I'm doing FTR research right now. That's all. He's so bro, like, ever since the big book, I'm sure FTR have had like 2 or 3 tag matches on TV, bro. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there hasn't been many.
There's literally there's been like 2 or 3.
They didn't even have.
That's crazy, bro.
Match against Moxley Machine Gun, and that made me sad because that would probably be a good match if it was just them. But
yeah, that pay-per-view match was so disappointing.
Speaking of,
I just want to see him wrestle, man.
They're facing Aussie Open and the LA Dojo Boys next weekend. Also, Aussie Open versus the Briscoes. That's going to be a good match.
That
I don't know.
That right there.
That's going to be a good match.
The Briscoes, the best tag team ever. Are we need them on TV more.
Charlie, did you see my tweet posting Jay Briscoe where I said this is a 38-year-old man and like he had a completely light beard?
Yes, no, I did see that actually. Yeah,
that's so good, bro. Like, when I
was funny as fuck.
When I watched them just like being the Briscoes, it's like, how are these just like
being rednecks? Like,
yeah.
No, I don't care if. Listen, I don't care if Jay Briscoe's a fucking terrorist, bro. I'll put him on my TV.
Hopefully, when Ring of Honor gets a streaming deal,
I can't.
Signed, aren't they?
Bro, they're like Sami Zayn to me. Like it's like so. Sami Zayn is a redhead Syrian Muslim. What's up?
Hold on, that was a wild comparison. Don't ever do that shit again.
Okay, let me explain. No.
Sami Zayn is very problematic.
No. I'm saying when you Sami,
come on, my God.
That is crazy. What I mean is Sami is a ginger Syrian Muslim man who wore a lucha mask. It's like what? And look at the Briscoes. I can't tell what race they are, but then they're like also like country rednecks, and then they also kind of act urban. Like it's like really funny, you know. It's just like what are they?
That's what AEW's reality TV show should be. It should be called The Farm. And it's just the Briscoes.
Yeah.
Are you saying the Briscoes are the men of the world?
You know they should. You want to get some real. All right. You want to get some real entertainment? Just turn on CNN while the Briscoes and have the Briscoes watch it and film their reaction to the news stories as it happens.
Listen, bro. They don't watch no news. You know? They don't watch no news. Let's wrestle on farm, brother.
Wrestle on a farm.
I still can't get over you comparing them to Sami. Like,
listen.
All the Briscoes do is catch chickens and drink chocolate milk.
They raise chickens and drinks. It's madness. It is madness. Yeah, they're hilarious.
That match is. Let me find the promotion because I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
It's a house.
Yeah, I love the Briscoes. They're definitely my favorite tag team ever.
You know, Tony Khan's only letting the Briscoes and Aussie Open wrestle because he knows it's gonna be a fuck finish like every House of Glory match.
I hear about that like House of Glory, they'll book these like really big matchups and then they just do non-finishes like throughout the whole show.
Or like they book big matches and then like they'll change them up last minute and they'll put all the big wrestlers in one big match.
It's not for a belt though. It's just a straight up 1-on-1. I don't think it's for the New Japan Strong belts, anyways. I might be wrong.
I hope not.
I don't think it was. The Briscoes didn't mention it in the promo, so
no, but they are defending the New Japan Strong belts against Motor City Machine Guns and the LA Dojo Boys.
Monty, you know,
New York shows.
I wanted to go to that show, and then the tickets sold out immediately, which sucks.
I wanted to go to that show, and I almost bought tickets.
Oh my god, look at that.
Mason, yes, Shingo and Loki will be very good, but it depends on which Loki you're getting that night.
Loki.
Oh, fucking Eddie Kingston and Okada are also tagging in that match.
Like,
and I can't remember. It's against Jay White and Juice Robinson, I think.
Yeah, I was excited when I saw Eddie and Okada. I got excited, and then I saw who they were facing, and I was like, never mind.
Come on, Matt. That's gonna be a good match.
It'll be fine.
Can we talk about Regal?
Wait. Before we get to Regal, Monty, you know what would bring New Japan back, Monty? If that new, have you heard of Oleg Boltin or Oleg Borchin, depending on your translation?
No.
I saw this guy. I read about him. I found out who he was, and I immediately said he needs to win the IWGP Championship in his first match.
Did you read that Yuji Nagata said he's a future world champ or whatever the fuck it was he said about him?
Didn't they say he's like 6'4", or am I just like?
Yeah, he's a big dude.
You're talking about that tall bald guy, right?
Yeah. Listen, if you want to bring New Japan back, he has to walk in, do it for Inoki, because what would Inoki do? You know?
Isn't he like a really accomplished wrestler? Like amateur wrestler?
Yeah. He's like a real shooter.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Genuine foreign shooter, big man, 6'4". Come on, man. What would Inoki do?
Real wrestling. You know?
Inoki would have that man win the G1 immediately.
I might be confused. I forgot which wrestlers, but I know Nagata really wanted this young lion. I don't know. He might be Noah or All Japan, and Nagata really wanted him so bad, but he ended up just choosing one of those two promotions. And Nagata like fought hard for him to be on one of those shows to wrestle him because he wanted to put him over. That's how much he wanted him.
That's crazy. You gotta give me the name on that, Manny.
Somebody in the comments probably knows who it is, but
yeah,
if you do, let me know.
Monty, Ace Steel got fired.
He did.
Let's go.
I am extremely disappointed. The business that we grew up loving,
wrestling is done,
dying before our very eyes.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
A great man, a great friend,
a great man, a great producer, a great promo,
a great
fighter,
one of the Chicago Saints.
Absolutely.
Great fighter.
It was his words that gave Brooks the strength to win the AEW Championship at All Out.
Brooks.
It was his strength that protected CM Punk in a time of need when he was being assaulted by multiple men. It was his team.
I Steel also, you know what I Steel is? I Steel's a real friend.
Yeah.
I know if he's my friend, he's got my back.
Yeah.
A Steel shades of Allen Iverson.
Monty, have you seen the picture of Punk and A Steel from like the early 2000s where like they're standing back to back with their fists up?
I've got it on my phone, bro.
Yeah.
You've got it on your phone.
Got it on my phone.
Real friends.
I'm gonna find it real quick.
Anywho, Ace Steel was fired, and it's probably for the best.
That 1 week that run he was on, it was just.
You actually have it on your phone. Oh my god.
That's a friend, man. That's a friend.
That's what you need in this. Look at these tomatoes.
To the guys putting tomatoes in chat, you're all.
I didn't even. Yeah. All right, man. I'll chill. All I'm gonna say is I didn't want anyone to get fired. You know.
Ace Steel's a beast.
I'll take these tomatoes.
You need people like Ace Steel and Eddie Kingston around the locker room to set things straight. You know, people get out of line. You get bit or you get punched. You know, that's just what it is.
Y'all are booing, right? But guess what? If you saw Kenny Omega's arm, the bite mark was right on his forearm.
And Kenny learned,
which is proof that Kenny was putting dudes in the coquina.
And
that's crazy.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
You think Kenny Omega's gonna put somebody in a coquina again?
No,
he learned his lesson.
All the ooh elite people, like, oh, they're so cute.
Listen,
so peaceful. And
this is what it is. Look at this.
I'm sorry, John.
The war. This man right here. He just went for a bloody war with John Moxley, who was just KO'd. A very strong young man in Hangman Adam Page. John Moxley isn't a man to mess with, you know. And CM Punk, you know, he survived John Moxley. He didn't beat John Moxley. He survived John Moxley. Yes. And all he wanted to do was just vent some frustrations and this animal of a man.
You mean this man?
Decided to stroll in.
This man. Oh. This man.
Decided to stroll in there.
I'm never gonna forget that tweet where it said CM Punk punch Nazis. That was an all-time tweet. I forgot who it was, but that was awesome.
Yeah, you know, Kenny Omega's a dangerous man. He's a dangerous man.
But what he didn't realize was, you know, the Saints were here. And, if reports are true, you know, it looks like the Chicago boys won the physical confrontation.
Listen,
this is crazy. I don't know where you guys are fabricating these lies from.
And Kenny were coming off a very emotionally taxing
trios
match that took a lot out of them. They had to face one of their former best friends.
The best stuff.
CM Punk came out here and ran his mouth. Of course they're gonna get right.
It's all Ace Steel's fault.
The best thing of this whole situation is just Dave Meltzer, like every couple of days, just being like, "I should have told CM Punk when I had the chance." You know, this could have all been avoided if I let him know.
I bet you, because
he's taking it so personally.
Guys, he's friends with the Elite. You know, he's had conversations with the Elite where they're kind of like, I bet you Punk comes up in conversation and they're all like, And he's like, what's that about? And they're like, nothing. And he's like, ooh, that's
the actual sad
was his fault.
I was watching old
it was all his fault.
Yeah, Larry's not the prettiest, but you know.
I was watching old the Elite Q&As the other day, and they kept talking about how much they wanted to bring Punk in for like a Bullet Club thing or something.
Yeah,
and that actually made me really sad that all of this panned out the way that it did. Charlie, on a real, it's probably for the best that Ace Steel was coming back, but I hope everyone's brought back.
Yeah.
This is what happened. CM Punk was sitting with his boy Ace Steel in his house and was just like, "Look, bro, I want to get back to work. You gotta just take the bullet here." You know. I didn't get myself in the best shape in my life just to. You're not gonna ruin my legacy, man. Your bills are gonna be paid for. You're gone, bro. You're gone.
You see what Dave Meltzer put on the board.
About how like Ace still thought that he was not. Someone brought up the video that Ace posted last week about freedom. You know, he posted up the proof thing. Yeah, and it was like someone brought that up in the board, and Dave replied to it like, "Oh no, Ace was actually really surprised." But, yeah, of course he was. Like, come on. You know what it was? They told him last week the investigation's over, and he's like, "Let's go! I'm going back to work." And they're like, "No, you're fired." And he's like, "Wait, what?"
I don't know. I strongly doubt that it was much of a surprise to him. You know.
You know when they do the plea deals and everything, and like when you're criminal, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna give you like a plea deal and everything." CM Punk went in there and said, "Yeah, it still agrees with the plea deal. He's gonna go, and I'm gonna stay. You know, this is how it is." That's how, and when Ace Steel went in front of the court, the judge told me Khan, and he told him the sentence. He was like, "Wait, what? What do you mean I'm fired?" And he's like, "Yeah, Punk said you agreed to the terms."
I feel like as weird as it sounds, I feel like the ball, especially as time passes, is probably more in like CM Punk's court. You know, 100%. Because if you think about like if you're an executive, right, for a company that you obviously want the best for, like if you're the Bucks or Omega, like even if he did kick the shit out of you, which you know he didn't, I'm obviously exaggerating. You know, even if you did have a fight with him, it's kind of like, you know, what's best for business. You know, and it's like, if CM Punk's willing to figure it out with them, you as an EVP who wants the best for the company should be able to figure it out with literally your top star and biggest draw. So, if I had to take a guess, but gun to my head right now, I'd probably guess that he's going to come back, kind of for that reason, you know, because at the end of the day, they're EVPs and they should want the best for the company. And if Punk wants to come back, I can imagine they'll figure something out. So
Twitter's gonna be a shitstorm when he comes back. Go ahead, Charlie.
Mm-hmm. I think the only reason Punk wouldn't come back is if he decides like I got injured in like 2 major ways, like in title runs, and that might put him off. That's the only thing I can see like preventing him from coming back. But like if he's like over all of that, I think he'll come back.
Monty, what would you respect more if you hear that? And they should film this honestly for the reality show. Could you imagine if they filmed the reconciliation meeting between Punk and the Elite? Like that would.
They should just fake it.
It's gonna be a BTE episode. Like,
listen, because check this out, right? Because you know a lot of people in the AEW fan base like strongly dislike CM Punk right now, to the point where they're opposed to him coming back. Young Dundee, we Punk fans, Hang or Not included, miss Phil, even though he was very wrong. Hopefully, this is all done by fluke here. Young Dundee, I agree with you. Thank you for the super chat, Monty. Here's the thing: if
he's not wrong,
the fan base.
Right? He wasn't wrong. That's the worst thing.
The fan base is going to be like a lot of them don't want him even back, which is like insane to me. I get being mad at him. I get thinking what he did was stupid. I get being upset. Not wanting him back. I don't agree with that. But so here's what would be funny, Monty, if in real life Punk, like when he finally meets the Elite, he's like, yo, my bad, man. And they're like, yeah, my bad. And it's like the most like just like toxic masculine like apology thing. But like they
boys will be boys.
Listen, but for TV, right? They film like a man Punk is like, my bad, bro, and he daps him up, and then they get the cameras up. They're like, all right, let's do this again now for social media. And then the social media apology, like he's crying and Kenny's crying, and they're hugging and shit, and like they're playing sappy music and
clips of Ring of Honor play for no reason. So, they never interacted in the promotion. You just fuck it, play them anyway.
The thing is, the person who would cry the most if like Omega and Punk like hug is like Tony Khan. Like he's gonna be shedding so many tears of joy. Like,
would you, bro. So I don't know why.
He's projecting onto Tony Khan so hard right now. He's projecting so hard.
Tweet Fred.
Yo.
The thing is as well, like, with Tony Khan definitely was hearing what some of what CM Punk was saying in regards to like talent leak and shit to the media and stuff. I think if Tony Khan was like strongly against what Punk was saying, he'd probably be gone by now. You know, like I know there's an investigation going on and whatnot, but like, you know. Come on.
Tony Khan did not want to fire CM Punk.
Yeah, of course he did.
He was finding every loophole possible not to fire him.
He's a money-making machine. Why would you fire him?
Plus, that's his favorite wrestler of all time. You know, I would.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, but like from a business perspective.
Business standpoint, yeah.
I wonder if they'd put him in like a part-time role. You know, like not a Sting role, but like a you know, he comes out and he's kind of like in a special attraction kind of thing, rather than like a top guy. You know. Because like Charlie said about his injuries and stuff, like when he's been on top, obviously he's been injured and they've been quite devastating injuries, you know?
His body's trying to tell him something.
Unfortunately,
we just gotta remember, man, CM Punk's a punk rock kid that was fighting the man. And, you know, the man just happened to be the Elite. So.
Manny's a poet, man. Why did it look like... I thought that was wine for a second. That was so funny. Like, you're like, your Manny's trying to get a drink.
I mean, it's not wine, but it does have.
You're drinking Pepsi still?
Yeah, it's definitely just Pepsi.
You know what, guys? I need to make an announcement. I've been drinking Pepsi lately, and Pepsi's better than Coke.
No, bro. No. What the fuck are we doing here? What happened to this great?
You know what? Dr. Pepper is better than Coke.
Dr. Pepper is better. I just don't have it.
Oh no, that's
Pepsi's nasty, bro.
Dr. Pepper is that soda.
I can't drink any of those 2 drinks.
Sucks for you.
Yeah, and my life is all the better for it.
A Mexican Coke is still better than a Pepsi, but if I don't have a Mexican Coke, then I'm gonna choose a Pepsi now.
Pepsi's nasty.
Manny, I am sure Mexican Coke is incredible.
Pepsi's
it is really
so good.
You have to get it from a bottle.
Like in the glass bottle. God, it's so good.
What about when it's on the table? Listen, I'm telling you guys. Here's the thing. When CM Punk comes back, just unfollow me. Like I'm just like plainly.
I've been planning that for months.
I will.
When CM Punk comes back, if he comes back and like his off rip, like he just GTS's Kenny Omega, like just unfollow me.
You're awful.
Bob the Builder, why don't you record your Twitter Spaces? Then they won't draw as much live. You got to make it an experience that you can't miss.
Plus, some of the stuff that gets said on those, said on those spaces, you don't want to be recorded and brought back.
Is there a WrestlePurists Discord I can join? $10 a month.
$10 a month. Get the fuck out.
We should start a WrestlePurists Discord though, just to like.
We should start a WrestlePurists Patreon, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, everything.
Everything.
Conglomerate of like shit.
We're trying.
We're gonna make our own social media platform, guys.
I genuinely think.
All things WrestlePurists.
So it's funny.
I genuinely think we should do like a monthly fee to be in our Discord, and you get to just like watch wrestling with me.
I already do that. That is not fun.
Yeah, that's true. We do that.
It's not fun. A 40-minute match ends up being 2 hours long.
2 hours.
Oh, does he pause it and shit?
Pausing. Oh my god. Right over and we're like, Hammond, shut up.
Whoa, hold up.
When we watched the Aussie Open in FTR, he paused that match like 7 times.
That's nasty business, bro.
No,
Dude, that's already a long match as it is.
You gotta pause and take it in, bro. Like,
I'm with Hangman on this. You gotta pause and you gotta break down what just happened. You gotta break down psychology.
Pause it and yell in my ear. Like, I'm just like, what are you talking about? Dude, just play the damn match.
Dax's hot tag, I had to pause and literally yell into the heavens. You know, I had to just
do that on your own time.
Hey man,
like 6 a.m. for me.
You'll like it on the
match in like 20 minutes and ends up being like an hour later. I'm sorry, Manny. I'm sorry.
On the late night grid, we do that too. We watch matches with Joe and our friend Dukes, and we just like watch matches, and then we sometimes they pause them and we just watch them again, just like that. Like we
listen. You guys gotta understand. This is how men watch wrestling. You know, we gotta pause it. We have to yell.
I mean, we were pausing matches. It was just me and Lexi the other day. But
exactly.
For different reasons.
Sure. Sure.
Oh
my god. We haven't even talked about Dynamite yet.
We haven't.
Dynamite aired on Tuesday this week.
Yeah.
And there were 4 championship matches.
Title Tuesday.
It was in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah.
Fuck, James Harden's good.
And the show opened up with the Trios Championship match between Death Triangle and the Best Friends. Monty, what were your overall broad thoughts on this Dynamite show, and what do you think of the opener?
I thought it was a really good show. It had some really high peaks. It was just really unfortunate about the end. Outside of that, it was probably one of the better TVs they've done this year. The opener was, it was good stuff. It wasn't anything crazy, I don't think. Mm-hmm. But it was, it's good stuff, Good start to the show.
I don't have too much to say about the opener, but what I would say, Monty, is the opening signature of the show. We got motion graphics for the championship match between Hangman and John Moxley. We got like slow motion clips of them like before going into the motion graphic. And then before going into the ROH title graphic, they showed like this cool freaking like montage of like the past champions. And, it's such a minor thing, but that added so much to the beginning of the show. Like there was so much just more structure added because of that. And I thought like from a production standpoint overall in general, like a big upgrade and one of the better produced shows AEW's done.
Yeah, every show should have like a rundown of the main highlights at the start of the show, but that should just be like a standard thing, I
agree.
You don't have to be like a WWE trope where they run through like the lineup fucking 20 times and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, they don't really do that as much now, but like you know what I mean. But like you said, like the title matches, just tell what's on the show tonight. Like what's going on.
What's crazy about it, Monty? Whenever people would suggest these things, the fans would get so defensive as if like you're suggesting it would like to just turn it into WWE, and they would also get defensive, like it's like all they want is literally just the crash TV that it was, where it would just be like, oh, let's go backstage, let's go back to the ring, and you know what I mean, and it's like, dude, it's okay. It is okay to let shit breathe. It is okay to run a fucking video package. It's fine. Tony's now been doing it for what, a month, and look at how much it's helping the show.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
It's nice.
Stuff like that's nice, and just like was he last week? They've even done it this week. So when you do promos throughout the show to build up to the main event, it just adds gravity and stuff. So yeah, it's just these little things, these little production things, whether that's a promo, whether that's a sit-down interview, whether that's a rundown at the start of the show, whether that's it's a million different things it could be. But AEW do sometimes do these little things, then don't go back to them. But yeah, Manny, you look like you've just passed out on screen.
I was reading something.
I'm worried. Charlie was looking at a phone. Alexia's off cam. Hangman had to mute himself.
I got
thought Manny died on me.
I got sent something in one of our chats with Hangman, so I was reading it.
Manny is so funny. Charlie, do you think that the Death Triangle are headed towards a breakup?
Yes, and I have been saying this on Twitter for like 2 months now because they started teasing it ages ago, and everyone booed me for it. They were just like, no, they're not going to split up Death Triangle. Why would they do that? But they're starting to tease it properly on TV now, so guess who was right again?
Charlie.
Anyway, yes.
I don't think they're gonna break up. I just think they're all gonna turn heel.
I don't think they are, because if Phoenix has been working like proper babyface stuff recently. I think that it's all going to come down to what Panther decides to do.
Panther's probably going to pack up his brother like he did last time.
I think that'd be a really interesting storyline if they did a Panther against Phoenix. I think that'd be incredible.
Listen, guys, we got 112 people still in here.
Wow.
We're over 90 minutes in. Like the video, man. We ain't got enough we haven't got enough likes for my liking right now. It's Charlie's birthday.
Yeah.
And we're not getting the likes. I'm not happy with it.
I'm not happy
like
with
the
it.
video.
I'm putting my fist down.
He's not gonna pay us.
Yeah. Do you want me to be poor on my birthday?
In the arms of an angel.
I thought the video package were cool, especially that ROH one. That was awesome.
Yes.
And I think they should do more. I think I pitched the idea like on Twitter that they need to do like, you know how New Japan does the every champion before like they are IWGP champ before like past one. I think they need to do that with the AEW and Ring of Honor one. Even though there's not a long lineage, I think it still rules.
The Ring of Honor World Title lineage as well is so like just fucking beast,
Absolutely.
It's I love how the final battle graphic.
Nobody watches WXW. Sorry, Mason.
What did Mason say?
Mason said WXW does the same thing.
I actually watched the WXW match the other day, but that was because
Listen, a lot of great wrestlers went through there. People like Ilya Dragunov and Volter.
Charlie's watching too much indie wrestling for my liking at the moment.
I'm watching so much. Oh, I did watch a WXW match. It was Will Ospreay against Pete Dunne. And Will Ospreay was wearing cat ears.
Supporting indies too much,
Yeah,
I'm going
we're the corporation around here,
True.
If Charlie continues this, I'm going to have a conversation with Gabe Sapolsky.
Can you not?
This is
like,
nasty.
why are we doing this on my birthday?
Back up Sapolsky.
Back up Sapolsky. I'm gonna tell Rob Fee about like.
Don't.
Like
you don't need to name anyone. I just know
somebody.
Dragon, which Kenta are we talking about? Depending on which Kenta, I'll look up that match.
The next match on the show was Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida. Alexia, what did you think of the opener with Death Triangle and the Best Friends?
Thank you, Charlie. I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, those are both teams like that I really love, that I'm really super over for. I feel like all 6 of those guys have great chemistry with each other, and that's they're like people who I can watch wrestle like all the time, just because I never want them to stop wrestling because it's so good, so good.
Do you think that triangle's gonna split?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, like they kind of have been teasing it, but I wouldn't want them to just because I enjoy them like as a group. But either that or like Manny said, turn them heels. Either way, whichever like route they choose to go, I know I'm still gonna eat it up anyway.
No, I think you said turn them heel because if you look at AEW's Death roster, they literally have no heels whatsoever, and it looks like they're going to turn MJF babyface too. So it's just like, if they turn MJF babyface, who do they really have? So they got to start turning some people.
Yeah, AEW does need more heels. Swerve will help in that regard, but they do need more heels. I agree with you, Manny.
Also during that Orange Cassidy Best Friends match out. Oh wait, Orange Cassidy and Best Friends versus Death Triangle. I was kind of nervous that Death Triangle was going to lose, and I didn't really want that, so I'm glad they won.
Yeah.
There was a great near fall with Orange Cassidy on that match.
Just sucks that Train got packed up twice against them.
Morkachi
was right there.
Morkachi said $2. Congrats, Charlie. Same birthday as the great CM Punk. Is today CM Punk's birthday?
No, his birthday's on the 26th. I just googled. Same birthday month, but CM Punk's a Scorpio. I'm a Libra.
Yeah.
Take that as you will.
Yeah, what did I want to say? Yeah, listen, this women's match with Shida and Tony was awesome for the time that it was given.
So good.
They worked really hard. Yeah. They worked really hard. They had a super.
I wish they got more time.
Yeah. They
didn't need it.
I was gonna say, Monty, they were just like off rip. Like it was like the Jets were on both their like.
Yeah, the whacked each other. They did cool shit. It was good, man.
Flexes and shit.
I like to see it on a pay per view.
Yeah.
Shout out the Ace of the Division, Tony Storm.
Monty, I think to me it's like super indicative of like the division, kind of like where we're at with it. Where like Shida and Tony had this awesome match, right? And like the second it's over, like Paige and Britt are fighting, and like that's the focus. And
Paige is a big star, bro.
For me, your catchphrase. Listen, for me personally. There was a big drop off in interest. Like I saw that and I was like, yeah, that is the A storyline, but I'd be lying to you if I said like I was super fired up about that compared to what I just saw. You know what I mean? And I think what AEW should focus on when it comes to the women's division is they have to try to make sure that they have to find a way, if possible, to make their best wrestlers in the division their biggest stars in the division. You know what I mean? Because I think there's a disparity. I think that the biggest stars of the women's division are not the best wrestlers, So that's kind of where we're at with things. But yeah, Alexia, did you like Shida versus Tony?
It was good. It was really good. I really like both of these women, so I really enjoyed it.
Tony has such a cool look. They
both do. Mm-hmm. Probably like Shida's face paint.
Yeah, every time I see Tony when she comes out, like it just strikes me like she has such a super cool look with the jacket and the shades and the hair and stuff. Yeah. What's up, Benny?
She looks like the champ.
Yeah, for sure. I thought this was a really good match. Paige and Britt, they fought afterwards. Paige is clearly medically cleared in real life.
You see how she took out you see how she took Britt Baker down? It wasn't the most amazing brawl in the world, but that part did pop me.
I really hope the match is good because the brawling, it looked like, I don't know how Britt was confused during the brawl, which is insane. Like,
to be honest with you, Manny, I'd rather they have a street fight than a wrestling match.
Well, I don't know that's true because Britt, like when they were brawling,
they're overdone. So they're overdone
to death. Like,
they are overdone to death, but I don't really have much interest personally in like Paige and Britt Baker exchanging holds.
Oh, fuck you, bro. It's not for you.
I mean, from the perspective that
big star,
possibly get more wrestling on like the main card of a pay-per-view for the women, I'm all for that. For the match itself, I can take it or leave it.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice tidy 2.25, and then I'll pop you. It'll be great. Two big stars.
Britt is a death match queen, so the match will probably be good.
Oh, bro! If they give that, if they actually do give that match a stiff and Britt just bleeds,
if they do it as like a lights out match, oh my god!
Britt's not going to beat like the just blood merchant allegations, you know. Like,
oh,
I mean,
blood merchant. That's not a real thing. Blood merchant isn't a real thing. blood fucking rules. Like there should be blood in every match.
Yeah.
If something gets you an iconic moment, why wouldn't you try to repeat it? Like,
no, I don't disagree. Listen, Ric Flair. In like the 80s, he probably bled every single night. You know, so like
he said it made him feel more comfortable. Mox definitely
feels more
went through that. Mox definitely went through that phase as well, where when he was bleeding and he was in the heat of it, that's where he feels at home when he's in the middle of the ring with a roaring crowd pissing up blood.
I want you to look like Terry Funk's forehead or some of these luchadors when they rip their masks off. You see all their like
bleeding scars
from blading.
Yeah, because they're not pros like Rick, you know.
I'm willing to bet money that John has bled in more matches than he has not bled this year.
100%.
I don't know.
But
the fact that he even think about it. Manny's point makes me laugh because like I said, like Ric Flair doesn't have all those scars all over his head.
Yeah.
He's got the trick. He's got it down, man. He knows how to.
Scars are
he knows how to run that blade, bro. And then you look at guys like Abdullah the Butcher and some of these old.
What's happening in the chat, Char?
We're getting bullied because we haven't talked about Rio yet.
I want to talk Rio. Okay.
Oh yeah. Rio
is back on TV, which is excellent.
We talked about Rio earlier.
We did, but
yeah.
Great. wanted us to talk about her again.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's real.
Rio's awesome. She's
Rio. She's great.
She got a massive pop.
She gets over every time she wrestles. She did a crossbody.
Is she wrestling on Rampage or Dynamite next week? I saw someone talking about a match.
Dynamite
next week.
Against Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter.
That's gonna be a good
one. Yeah.
Yes,
why do we say at the same time?
Just in sync.
Yeah, the same brain.
Like this.
Jamie Hayter may have been her last match on Dynamite, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was.
My brain's not got that good. I can't remember.
I feel like that's not true.
Rio and Jamie had a match on I think it was Dynamite. Riho versus Jamie Hayter. Look what they're doing research.
I'm excited for Riho to be back. I do hope they do Riho versus Tony Storm soon down the line. I think that'll be good. I know they're like on the same team at the moment.
Well, we can't do all Tony Storm's big matches in under one reign. You know, we gotta.
Yeah.
Charlie, are you willing to finally admit that Maxwell Jacob Friedman is one of the greatest characters in the history?
Yeah. Dynamite. Her last Dynamite match was against Jamie Hayter.
Oh.
She's wrestled on Rampage also.
Monty, that's enough. Charlie, are you willing to admit that Maxwell Jacob Friedman is one of the greatest wrestlers the greatest characters in the history of wrestling?
Listen, I like MJF a lot more when he's not cutting the same promo every single week.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Do you want me to elaborate or
no? All right, and here's my reply to you: banger after banger after banger after banger.
No. Because the first few promos he cut when he came back, they were the same shit every week. Yes. And you can't deny this because I called it on Twitter. I made a tweet that was basically bar for what MJF said that night.
Yeah.
So if I can predict it at fucking 1:30 in the morning, it's not a good promo.
So here's what I'm gonna propose to you, Charlie, because you are totally correct. He absolutely used tired recycled material, right? But if you remember last week on Dynamite, do you guys remember what Max said backstage? He said that when he washes his face and looks in the mirror, he tells himself that he has to be a bad guy and that he has to do this and put this role on.
Okay, but if you're being a bad guy, you can still be creative.
The point I'm getting at is I think it's almost by design that he's playing the MJF that you assume he's supposed to be. Because it's Monty, you can get mad and think it's lore. I can see you feeling that it's lore. Is he frozen? Listen,
No, he's just being very pensive.
I just know some long Hangman think pieces.
We're not having a
Soliloquy.
debate about this because we're going
Soliloquy.
to disagree about it.
Monty.
But I do
Monty,
think
I
this
got-
week was one of the best promos MJF has ever cut. But also, William Regal did just kind of pack him up after. So
He did not, but he had a solid retort. Monty,
oh, come on.
I
It's
got
William-
Monty. I got literally 3 tweets last week saying that they appreciated my breakdown of Maxwell Jacob Friedman's promo. So
Of course.
take that, you yellow bastard.
Good for you, bro. You know,
That yellow bastard.
good for you, bro. You know,
Listen, no soliloquy. The point is, I think it's by design. You know, the broader narrative here really is that Maxwell Jacob Friedman is not a bad guy. You know, he's a resentful kid who ultimately he has a chip on his shoulder, and he's the product of a bunch of negative experiences
Manny,
that
your
made
dog
him
is so cute.
thank you. She needs a haircut.
Regal for 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Yes,
There you go.
I do agree.
Listen, MJF is a product of a bunch of really negative experiences that have taken him to this point. You know, he wouldn't be where he is if it wasn't for all these things that kind of mess with him, whether it be CM Punk kind of, you know, not giving him the best experience when he was a kid, whether it's him being bullied, whether it's Regal crushing his dreams. These things made him a bitter person. These things made him angry and resentful. These things made him mad at the world. These things made him act like an asshole as a way to lash out at people. And when you kind of break down just the psychology of it, what you realize is it's every action has a reaction. There's a cause and effect here. And it's like, you know, the chicken came from the egg or whatever the fuck. The point is, Max is not a bad person. The point is, Max is not a bad person. His nature is not bad. It's the lack of nurture that has taken him to this point. And I think.
Sorry, continue. If you're
yeah. So I think that's a really fascinating dynamic. That's clearly what's at play here. And so the curiosity factor now is just, what is he going to do as a result of this? He's laid his cards out on the table. We know that this is his origin, right? What is he going to do now? Is he going to take the shortcut? Is he going to be a villain? Is he going to do the right thing? Is William Regal going to decide during the title match, like, you know what? He's proven to me that he's earned it, and so I'm going to help him now. Who knows? But ultimately, I thought this promo segment was tremendous. Go ahead, Charlie. Yeah, go ahead.
I think my whole thing with MJF is he puts on these great shows of character and cuts these fantastic promos every now and then. But when he hasn't got something to drive the story, his character just dies for me. And like, I can't get behind the whole, oh, this town's football team sucks. I'm better than everyone. I'm the fucking devil and you're all my worshippers. I can't get behind that shit. And it really frustrates me because of sometimes, like this week's Dynamite, there are times I'm just like, okay, I like this and I wish I could be a fan of this guy. But it's just not consistent enough for me. And I don't know.
No, to be honest, Charlie, no, your criticisms are fair. Monty alluded to this in the WrestlePurists chat, and I totally get what he's saying too when he says that some of what Max has been saying since upon return have been like, it's just been really like thoughtless and lazy. You know what I mean? Like in a way that's kind of like boring. You know?
Exactly.
And yeah, look, I think he's great, and I think like when he can bounce off of someone who's like really compelling and he can do something with, it's like awesome stuff. But like if he doesn't have that much to work with, then it does default into like bad football team go burr. And
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to this segment, amazing delivery. I didn't know the story, guys, that he was telling. So like I legit like I was like a guy like eating popcorn, like shaking nervous. Like I was like really invested in like where the story was going. When he was saying things like, and then you pulled me and said, you have 1 minute, kid. Tell me why I should hire you. And I'm like, oh my God, and then what happened? What happened next? What happened next? And he's just like, you told me to go home and send you a promo. And I'm like, oh my God, and then what? Like I was literally hanging on to every like part of the story. Because like I didn't know about the story. So it was just great stuff. What did you think of this whole thing, Alexia?
I mean, I thought it was good. I really, like Charlie said, like he does kind of like, I guess, get a little bit repetitive sometimes. But for me, like every time like he does, I'm like, it still hits like every single time. I'm just like, damn, was good. It was good.
Mhm.
But for me personally, like this past segment, I definitely think Regal washed him.
Really?
Honestly.
You guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Yeah. Because there's a way to go through it. Like, it's not just about like how you talk, how loud you say it, you know, but it's just about the way you deliver it. Like Regal, like, I don't know. I think he's just like phenomenal. I'm probably just like really biased because I like Regal a lot.
I do love Regal
But-
too.
But
He basically smirked at him and went like, "If an email is what had you this down bad, like he were mad weak, basically." Like,
Yeah.
he low broed him, which
Yeah.
I thought was great.
He
You
was
know,
like,
there's
you
he
mad at me?
humbled
You mad
him.
at me?
He humbled him. That's pretty much the
Mm-hmm.
what it was, and I really enjoyed that segment because I mean it kind of did, like I guess further up the storyline, which was supposed to be Mox and MJF, but overall I enjoyed it. Like, you know, I can see where Charlie's coming from, or like, oh, the repetitive aspect of like every single promo. Oh, this football team sucks. Oh, this part sucks. Mid, but you know.
Mid. Yeah. Manny, you're not a promo guy. You're not an angles guy. You are a matches guy. What did you think of the segment?
This segment fucking ruled. I was all aboard. I thought MJF cut the best promo of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't know if it's true or not. I have.
You say this
promos,
every
I don't
few
remember.
weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Monty, there's so many candidates.
Because the only one I can think of besides promo of the year is just the one he cut on CM Punk when he made him, choked him out and hung him. I don't know if that happened this year.
What about the Mox AEW for Life promo?
Oh yeah,
that was
I
a
wrote a
really
whole
good
feature
one.
about that one. I wrote a whole feature about that. Yeah,
Punch a hole in your wall for it.
There's the pipe
yeah, I
bomb.
punched the wall
on
through it. Yeah, it's right there still.
Yeah.
Still got to fix the hole.
There's the pipe bomb on Tony. There's so many candidates this year.
But
There's
then
the whole go ahead, man.
I might be in the minority, but I thought after the promo, I was like, man, I don't know how Regal can top him, and then Regal topped him. I thought he topped him, and then I was just like, fuck, man, like this. I might vote this segment of the year. I don't know if I think I'm going to go Moxley promo of the year for the aid after the All Out incident, and then this segment of the year because man, this was just phenomenal, and I really want to see MJF and Regal match. And I know I don't want to hear. I know Regal can. I know Regal can still go because on his podcast he said he had a match with Fit Finley right before he got let go.
Yeah.
So I know he can still go.
You know that story, Hangman.
Yeah,
That'd be sick.
I don't know that story.
Yeah, apparently at the PC, not long before we left, he was like they were demonstrating something, and him and Finley apparently just thought fuck it and just fucking jumped in the ring and had like a 10-minute full-on match.
That is so funny.
If MJF faced Regal,
yeah, and beat
that
the
might turn
absolute
my
shit out
opinion
of
on
each other.
MJF.
Yo, we got to do that shit. You know it'd be Art and Monty. You know you would go 4 1/4 on it. Like you'd be grinning ear to ear, just losing your mind.
It's
I can just picture
from the back.
they're just beating each other up, and then like MJF just busts Regal open, and then like the whole BCC are just watching him, and he's like telling him not to get involved, and he just beats him with like the brass knuckles.
You guys want a hanger exclusive?
Cinema.
Oh, is Regal gonna wrestle?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I was just gonna say I didn't know if I was allowed to say this, but you know it's been days since, and like no one reported.
Bro, we're 2 hours into a podcast.
It's exclusive information. Oh yeah, well that's what I was gonna say. Like I was gonna say like I gave it a couple days, nothing happened, so I'm just gonna say it. Like who cares? Minoru Suzuki and Fit Finley had a match recently. They just wrestled.
Is that why they took the picture?
I'm seeing Minoru Suzuki live this weekend.
That's awesome. When I was talking to the person, he said that he said I wasn't there. I was told it was awesome.
4 1/4.
100%.
Easy.
I remember a couple weekends ago I did like a deep dive on Fit Finley out of nowhere.
He's awesome.
All these handhelds I found from an Irish indie he did, bro.
Oh, he's so epic. Look, Finley's epic, bro. He's one of the best wrestlers you can do a deep dive on. legitimately.
Hey, man, I'll send you I'll see if I can find the YouTube channel again. But I found one handheld of him wrestling Owen Hart and like some Irish indie, bro. It was just so awesome. They were just like throwing punches at each other and just like freaking. They were doing rounds and everything.
Bro,
awesome.
here's the thing. When I was a kid, I just didn't think anything of him. Like I was like, yeah, this is Finley.
I loved him.
Now when I watch,
one of my favorites.
If I was 20, if I was like my current age watching Finley, like when he was wrestling, he'd be one of my favorites because he's just awesome. You know, he's just a tough bastard. You know, but yeah, man, this MJF thing was awesome. The next thing on the show was
hold on.
Oh, what's up? Oh yeah, your opinion. I'm sorry, Monty. What did you think of this whole
I didn't bring up. Let's talk about Regal a fucking hour ago. Just to
I went on a whole rant.
Skipped over for fucking MJF law breakdown. You know. Like Manny said, it's genuinely one of the best segments I've done this year, probably ever. To be honest. The MJF criticisms are
outdated.
No one say outdated. I'd say it's an interesting conversation, you know, because like he can be a bit predictable and tired and stuff, but for me, it kind of goes like a little bit deeper than that, to the sense that I just think overall, like his vibe, and even though like he's still a great promo and stuff, but I just like he's so clearly playing a character. Do you know what I mean? You don't have like the authenticity of certain other heels, you know. He's like I said, he's so clearly like playing a bad guy, and he does that very well. But like I said, he's clearly playing a bad guy. Like for me, he just kind of misses that extra. I wouldn't even call it conviction, because like I said, he plays that role well, but it's so clear that he's playing a role. Like we all know, like that's not him. Do you know what I mean? Like he doesn't blur the lines that well, I don't think. Even though he always sticks in character, which that's not the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, like pretty much all the things Charlie said, like he can be a bit predictable. His shtick can be a bit tired and almost childlike, you know. But like when he hits, man, and he's clearly obviously like one of the greatest talents in the past fucking 20 years or something in terms of like potential and being this good and this established and this polished at such an age. But you know, if you don't get criticized, he isn't gonna reach those potentials, is he? You know, I see all the comparisons to people of yesteryear and stuff, and it's just, you know, I think he's a one of one, to be honest. But I don't know. Like I said, the segment was one of the best segments AEW have definitely ever done, especially this year. MJF promo, obviously it was loud, it was a bit long. But it was great, and obviously he was telling a story. It had every right to be as long as it needed to be. Then when Regal responded to him, it was like what Manny was saying. He was like, how is he going to top this? And I don't know if he topped him, but he definitely met him on that level, and he came back with what he needed to say. It was quite almost, I knew he was going to go down that route of that's what I was just doing that to motivate you. Yeah. Of course, mate. You know, he obviously just didn't care, and he probably had like 50 indie wrestlers trying to email him at the same time and shit. You know,
it's all the story.
Like, yeah, right.
But yeah, man, it was a great segment. At the end, the bit at the end where Regal was like sacrificing himself to him was a bit, you know, it was a bit, you know,
that was a little,
yeah. That was a little, you know, come on.
It's just a very Regal thing to do, so I can't really like criticize it. But it was
I was fine with it. He didn't need to spread his arms out and turn around, like that's a little stagey, but it's fine.
It's Regal, like
it's Regal, awesome. Yeah. I like that actually. It was just more like a show, like, yeah, that's what I fucking thought, you little bitch.
Well, no, 100%. Listen, Max,
you know,
Max couldn't pull the trigger, you know, and that's a very interesting thing for the story now, because you have to interpret what does that mean.
I think it just comes down to like, as much as he like bitches at these people, he still just wants the validation.
Yes.
And like that is a big part of his character. And it was during the Punk story. And I'm glad you can tell that from his character. But
yeah. That's 100% what he wants.
I just love that he's got an extra layer to him now. Like this confliction with like, oh, is he gonna turn face, or you know, is he just like just general confliction with his own character at the moment? That's good because obviously he adds an extra layer to him, and it's something he can get into rather than doing, you know, your sports team sucks, mid, blah blah blah. You know,
as much as I do criticize him, I do think he is one of the more interesting characters on Dynamite at the moment, and like stories like this really show it.
He is the most interesting character on Dynamite.
Regal should have slapped him.
Yes.
It will come. I think it will be like after the Moxley match.
Me and Charlie up on Boffies.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
The British is coming out of the three of you guys.
Yeah. You know,
we had a backstage segment where Jay Lethal was standing across from Darby Allin.
Oh.
And
sorry, continue.
Crazy duo.
Renee Paquette was backstage with Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta, and she interviewed them. And the general point of this was Wheeler Yuta is in his feelings. He is mad that Bryan Danielson didn't see the Garcia turn coming, and he kind of was like, "Hey, man, I know that ain't who I think it is."
I didn't even make it cry.
I was like, why am I getting that?
What is happening? That was weird.
Technical people, right?
We got to do something like that more often. Yeah, the bottom line is, he was like, "Hey, man, I saw it coming. Mox saw it coming. Claudia saw it coming. How did you not see it coming? Like, are you clouded and stuff?" And he's basically like, "Hey, man, like I looked up to you and like, you know, you're basically called him a Garcia merchant and shit like that, and kind of just told him off and then like got up." What did Alexia do that, or like, did Monty do that?
What did do it? What? I don't know how Alexia did it. I think
you can change your background. Alexia, I just took a sip of my chewing gum.
What is happening? This is crazy.
Right.
Listen, it works for me. Yeah.
Sure. Monty, I tweeted out like a few weeks ago that the full 4-man unit of the BCC have never stood together in a segment. That's awesome.
I can have a teddy.
I wondered if look at that. Oh
wait, I could do one better.
Okay.
You got the Hager hat on.
Manny looks so unamused.
Oh, I'm researching something right now.
Manny got to talk about Blue Panther for the first 2 minutes, and he hasn't been as alive since. You know,
Blue Panther's great. Anyways,
I'm trying to find out when Mel Mascaris wore the shark mask.
Oh my god!
Fuck it up.
It isn't Manny,
and I can't find it. I just see product placement for me to buy one.
What else have I got up here? I've also got this one.
This one.
If somebody knows what he wore, let me know, because I'm trying to work on shirt design, and I need
we ain't got historians in our love chat. They're all fucking kids.
Wait,
you know? What are you researching? Wait, what happened? What happened, Monty? What's going on in the chat?
No, and Manny was asking the chat for something about me and mascara, and it's just like our love chat isn't gonna know that shit.
Yeah.
I got some dudes in here that know what's up.
Maybe Mason, but not really.
If any, I'm gonna repeat the question again. If any of y'all know when Mel Mascaris wore the shark mask, let me know what promotion he did it, and I can write it down.
That is a deep cut. Monty, do you think the BCC is going to split from Danielson? I tweeted, "Don't insult my live chat." I'm sorry, Israel. Please forgive me.
It's not hating, you know. I know the talents that our live chat has. And future history isn't. It's not high on the list.
That's why I'm trying to bring that to the forefront of WrestlePurists, because I'm doing my own research and I'm trying to.
Manny giving these niggas homework. You know,
giving people homework. Yeah, right. I respect it. I tweeted a few weeks ago that like we have not gotten the full 4-person BCC ever in a segment ever, like in the ring together. And I said, is that coincidence or was it intentional? And now we have Bryan Danielson, with some tension with Yuta, who's in his feelings. I don't know what you thought of the segment, Monty. I'm not against the story direction. I don't know if it was intentional, but Yuta came off very whiny in the segment.
It's justified though, so it's weird,
The way he delivered everything it felt really whiny. Like I don't know why. It was just kind of like a shut up, bro. Like what?
Yeah, but at the same time, though, like Bryan Danielson, bro, like you've just been owned by a kid and you're still there sucking his dick. Like, come on, come on, brother. You're my idol. No,
you're Bryan Danielson. What are you doing?
Yeah, he basically was saying like, stand up, bro. Like, where do you think this goes, and what do you think of this story direction, Monty?
I don't know where it goes. I'm just gonna let it play out. It involves talent that I like very much. I doubt that they drive it off a cliff and do anything catastrophically bad. So it's going to produce good matches because, like I said, it's got great wrestlers in it. So we'll see what happens, man. It's not really something that has captured me in a way where I'm trying to figure out where it goes next. Like, I'm interested in it, but I'm not like completely like drawn in and captured, you know what I mean, by it. I'm just kind of sitting back and gonna pop,
Sitting back and gonna pop. That's awesome. Alexia, your boy Yuta, he yelled at Danielson and he walked out. What's your thinking here? What's going on?
I'm not thinking. I'm just
so rude.
I'm not thinking.
I'm not thinking. I'm just I'm just letting it like
play out.
I don't really know where. Yeah, I don't know where it might go. But
whoa, how did you do that?
Did you just notice that she has a new background?
Yeah. How'd you do that? What'd you do?
Joe, Manny is not real, bro.
You know that TikTok filter where like people are getting scared because they think there's somebody behind them.
Yeah.
I thought that's what was like going on behind Alexia.
You thought what? Kenny was in my house?
Yeah, I don't know what you were doing. Like, how'd you do that? You have a green screen?
The WrestlePurists.
No. You can just do it on settings.
This is great listening content right now. Yeah. Manny figuring out how to do green screen backgrounds. Yeah.
It's terrific. So
have you lost where you was, Hangman?
Yeah,
we were talking about the Blackpool comment.
Yes, there we go.
What did you think about the Yuta and
there we go. Yeah.
segment.
Manny just now seeing Alexi's background, she's had it on for 20 minutes, just like threw me completely. Like it was just like, what? Charlie, what did you think of this?
I thought it was interesting. I think it adds another layer to Yuta's character because it just plays on the frustration he has of Bryan like consistently favoring Daniel over him, sort of thing. Like because of that, it's been like a background layer in a lot of the Yuta versus Garcia storyline. Like a lot of people have picked up on it, but it hasn't been like a key factor on it because like I think it was like before Yuta even joined, Bryan wanted Danny to join the BCC, and then Yuta was the one that got brought in for it. So like it's something that's like just been like simmering in the background, and it's slowly like building up. And I think that Yuta and Bryan might have a blow-off match at some point, which is something that I am looking forward to.
Their last match doesn't get talked about enough because
it was really good.
Because the Moxley one was a bit better, but the match with Danielson was fantastic. In fact, Monty, I'll tell you this, unless I'm forgetting something, my favorite singles work from Danielson this year, and it is admittedly a bit of a more subdued year for him. My favorite singles work of him this year is the stuff he did with the stuff he's done with the Killers. You know, his matches with Moriarty, Garcia, and Yuta. I think that those are his best singles matches. They're at least my favorites. So,
the second Hangman match was this show, wasn't it? So,
I was there live for that, and it's really great. But I don't think it holds a candle to the 1 hour draw that they had. Personally,
the 1 hour, that was like an out of body
That was just a
experience.
special
That was pornography. That's what I was.
I was saying, man. Yo, Monty, it's like 40 minutes in. I'm like, this is a 6-star match. I'm like, this is like unreal. But yeah, Charlie, you're correct. Look, Wheeler Yuta, he's been seeking to join the BCC. You know, Garcia's being recruited.
Yeah.
There's a difference there, right? You know what I mean? And
It
so,
just adds another layer.
yeah, 100%. That's interesting. Dalton Castle got a pay-per-view entrance on Tuesday. They gave him like,
Oh my god,
They
let's
have to do it with
Let's
Dalton.
go.
You gotta do that with Dalton. You can't just have him walk out.
I
to, like,
love
music,
his
you know.
entrance.
They gave him an extravagant pay-per-view entrance. I was really for that match. Yeah,
There's a wrong comment.
What's on
Thoughts on the-
We'll get to that later. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm gonna starve it. I'm gonna starve it for the after Dynamite tour.
After party.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
guys, we have breaking news.
Oh shit.
Do we?
Yes,
Okay.
Tonight?
break it.
after
Whoa,
the
what
WrestlePurists
happened?
podcast,
Oh god.
I will be live with AO. AO is signed on for the WrestlePurists.
Okay. When you
Recruitment
say after,
tryout.
It's tryouts, bro.
are we talking like 10 minutes after or 5 a.m. and I can have a nap?
Roughly 45 minutes after the podcast.
So 3 hours later.
So I can have a nap and still be there before it starts. Okay.
45 minutes after the podcast.
I can have a nap and still be there before it starts.
Big AO will be there. And I
Actually,
will.
if
Who
AO
are
is
the,
gonna be there-
who are the scouts who are going to be reporting back to me? I need scout reports off niggas, bro.
Peach just said he'll be live tomorrow night. That is so true.
I'm in
It'll be
Mexico
tomorrow
City
for
right
him.
now. Is it friendly my
Listen.
time?
If you want to be a part of WrestlePurists in one way, shape, or in any way, shape, or form, podcasting, writing, tonight's space is your opportunity. Show me what you got.
We're looking for
Back up the Polsky.
we're looking for nil athletes only. Yeah, young promising prodigies. We're not looking for no old indie workers, We're not looking for none of that. I'm gonna because it's already 2 a.m. here in the UK, where when Backup Hangman hosts the WrestlePurists Halloween month tryouts spaces. I'm gonna trust his opinion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna if Manny's around, he will be a designated scout as well.
I'm
Charlie,
going to be there.
If you show out in this space, you will absolutely be in the developmental WrestlePurists podcast video
with Jamie.
with Jamie.
Are we gonna be?
Yeah.
Are we
That
gonna
first
be
gives.
like Regal, where we're looking for people under like 25, and they have like they're good
Ideally.
workers?
Ideally.
6'5", 270.
Someone in the comments said someone is going to have their MJF level villain origin story tonight.
Oh, bro, Hangman's gonna be like, not tonight, man.
That's incredible. We're gonna get out.
Go out there and make a name for yourself.
Make a name for yourself.
He's gonna tell him, hey, keep sending your features to Monty. You'll eventually get to him, and Monty never reads them.
There's gonna be a rival podcast in like
This
6
is
months'
crazy.
time, and they're gonna be like, I started because I got rejected by WrestlePurists.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Israel said she'll also be their judge because she doesn't.
Let's
trust him.
go.
Yeah, we
Yes,
got
Israel.
Israel as well.
Could you?
We're not
Could you
It's not like that.
How is it gonna work?
Hold on, listen.
It's
Have you
gonna be us
guys
on speakers judging.
have you guys ever seen American Idol?
Wait,
Unfortunately.
you're gonna get these people to cut promos, man.
Listen,
You're gonna be like, if you want to be a speaker,
30
request the mic.
seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds, cut a promo, go.
Start practicing now.
Could you just imagine?
Oh,
I'll be the
so
Divas
I still
Division
want to know
recruiter.
Charlie's name.
Could you?
I
also
forgot
be-
about that question and I haven't been thinking about it. Someone said I still want to know Charlie's incredible handsome worker. I say Takeshita or Ibushi. Those are two very good answers.
Takeshita Ibushi.
I forgot about that question.
Yeah. The reason I asked
said
Charlie is
it
because
too.
the reason I asked Charlie is because like WWE in their like process, like currently when it comes to NXT, they want like
George
good
Hill's still in the
looking.
league.
They want good looking people, and the idea is like get a good looking person with the right look that can be marketable, and we'll teach them how to wrestle along the way, right? And I was thinking about it. I'm like, that's tricky. You know what I mean? And it made me think like, okay, who is a good looking male who is like an incredible like blowaway worker? You know,
you might disagree with this because I've heard your opinions on this man, but I still think Okada.
No,
Okada's a good looking guy. Okada's a good looking guy. Man.
Hangman said in the Discord the other day that we need to start a conversation about Okada. So I don't know what he was trying to cook there. But...
Oh, bro, he's been cooking that.
He's been cooking garbage.
Okada contrarian.
No,
he's watched so many. You wanna? I think it is with Okada contrarians. It's a thing that I've decided to brand people as now.
It's a good
thing. They've seen the Okada, classic match. They've seen it too many times, and I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I sympathize with them, when he has a good to decent match with a Jonah, you have Ash on the timeline saying it's one of the match of the year contenders, and then you turn it on and it's like maybe a 4-star match, and you're like, well,
Israel just said Shasha speaks in Love Island. I don't know how to explain it. That is because where I was raised is like just below London just above London actually, and that is like the stereotypical.
Well, they watch UK Love Island in America.
Yeah, a lot of Americans do.
That
I watched the
is sad.
Do you guys watch Jersey Shore?
Yes.
No.
Not you, Hangman.
No.
I've watched Jersey Shore.
When I was younger, I'd watch when I was like fucking 16. Not even that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Mario Void.
Manny, what's your question?
Do you guys know who Yeet is?
Who?
Yes.
Who is he? I have no idea who he is.
I don't know who this is.
I just know
he's
been going over my. Basically, he has more streams than Michael Jackson, Adele.
Who?
Yeet has 9 million monthly Spotify listeners.
Who is this person?
Good for him.
I know.
I don't know if I'm getting old or something, man. Sometimes people come out with these new rappers and stuff like they're big in it.
No, you should listen to Babytron.
Hang on, I'm gonna mute for a second.
Babytron.
Dalton Castle put on Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor Championship, and he had an extravagant entrance, and he had the boys with him, and the crowd was super into him, and the boys ran around the ring. And Taz decided to start healing on commentary, and Jake Hager got his hat taken away, and so he started to beat the boys up.
Mm-hmm.
And Dalton Castle did a lot of shtick in the ring with Chris Jericho.
They
had a fun match, and the crowd was really into it, and Chris Jericho won. And then after the match, he wanted to attack Ian Riccaboni. He was stopped by Jerry Lynn, who was a former Ring of Honor champion, and Jerry Lynn was pile-driven in the ring for his troubles. And that was the segment.
Manny, real quick on that segment. When Chris Jericho started attacking Riccaboni,
I thought they were gonna do my angle. I thought they were gonna do the angle. I've been telling Monty that as soon as they're gonna grab Riccaboni, Nigel McGuinness is gonna come out and save everybody.
Well.
I thought it was him coming out. And then I saw Jerry Lynn. And I put my face. I said, "Oh man, Jerry Lynn and Chris Jericho. Let's get into this." Man, Taz did not fuck with Dalton Castle at all until
that was interesting. Like he just started healing really hard.
He did not fuck with Dalton Castle or the boys whatsoever until the only time Taz got into him was once he started doing the suplexes, and then he started doing the crazy forearm exchanges with Jericho. And he says that's when he turned on him. But man, that's the only thing I took from that match was just Taz not liking Dalton Castle at all.
Bro, super unrelated, Monty. But it just reminds me because it's the same thing. Monty, did you hear how much Booker was just hating on Inoue and Blade on NXT last week?
Bro, Booker T on commentary is incredible. Bro. I'm talking like it's Bryan Danielson's just entered the territory. But honestly, for people like me and Hangman who for some reason watch NXT every week or catch up on it, we see how I won't even say like lifeless because they do try, if that makes sense. But like how much it just don't hit certain weeks. Like now that we've got Booker T. Booker T is gonna deliver for man every single week, bro. Like even if the wrestling is not good, like Booker T.
I'm gonna describe this to Charlie.
It's
Booker
amazing.
T is on NXT now, and he literally like he has never seen the show in his life, right? And you hear him live reacting, and he's openly like just telling you who he doesn't like as he's watching them, and it's so funny. This tag team, Idris Enofe and Malik Blade are wrestling, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what these guys are doing right now. I don't. You should be worried about the rest of the. Hey, I don't like these guys, man. I don't like these guys." I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I just wouldn't. He's like, yeah, I just wouldn't do that. I would not do that. Yeah,
you hear him when bro, he just like he gets his catchphrases in and shit as well. Like Austin Theory.
I was like,
wait.
That's when he said it. Austin Theory came out at the end of the show, bro. Yeah. When his music hit, he was like, "Shuck it, duck it, quack, quack."
Shuck it, duck it.
That's the clip I saw.
What?
Monty, even funnier, he basically, without like breaking kayfabe, asked the other guy during when Stax, Tony D's sidekick, had to wrestle Nakamura. Booker T basically said, "Yo, what's the storyline here? Like, how did we get here?" Like he basically asked it. He was like, "So why is this guy having to face the main roster guy? Like, what's going on?" And he's like, "Well, he fought Wesley, and he wants to prove that he's worthy of the dot." And Booker's like, he's basically like, "Yeah, that don't make no sense." But
he has like the same mentality on NXT that like Taz does, and then Caliber do on Dark. Like it's very like it's almost like they're on a podcast. Like when he was watching Roxanne versus Rhea yesterday, like he was just popping.
Yeah, he was like, "That's my girl right there."
I get that feeling. I get that feeling from JR sometimes, where JR does not know like who's signed to AEW, and he sees somebody for the first time, and he's like, even though they've been on the show before, like, "Oh my god, like who is that?" like I remember he did that to Josh Woods, and he's like, "Oh man, whoa, this is whoa." I mean, he started putting him over.
Every big white man that appears on the AEW side, Jim Ross is like, "Oh, that's
pops him huge."
Wait, New Japan Girl asked me the same thing. Want to know yours too for who? The same question you asked Charlie, and mine is definitely Takeshita.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is a good
tremendous wrestler.
Sorry, I didn't mean to catch you. I was just reading up on the comments.
I want him to grow a beard.
Mine's Roman Reigns. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The real answer.
That is a very good answer. I think that's the real answer.
Yeah, man.
I still like to put over WWE.
Oh man, have you guys ever seen a clip of him in Tough Enough where he walks in like the PC and it cuts to like everyone in the confessional and they're like, "Roman's here, Roman's here, oh my God, Roman's here."
I have watched that clip.
The thing is, that's before he had any type of swagger or sauce. Could you imagine him walking in the PC?
He's always had sauce.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
That's
no, man. Like my girl. Like literally, like she's seen pictures of Roman like before he like got like when he had the goatee and he didn't have the full beard. She was like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Wow, man. Monty, could you imagine current Roman walking in the PC now, just being like, "How's everybody doing? Y'all good? Y'all ready to work? Let's get it." Just
I can't even imagine him being like that sort of like.
Does he even know what a PC is?
He doesn't watch the product. That man literally he was on a hiatus once and he came back to SmackDown. He literally said like, "Yeah, I was on a private island with my wife for like 2 weeks." Like, so, yeah. Oh boy.
But yeah, before we go on. We'll finish Dynamite.
Yeah.
We haven't finished Dynamite.
Yeah. So, that was the ROH deal.
Love Dalton Castle.
Yeah,
yes.
we had a
more Dalton on TV, please.
Yeah.
The baddies were looking for Nyla Rose, and Jade Cargill said that she was going to hijack Rampage if she didn't get her.
Sound like a threat to me.
I'm all for it. 60 minutes of Jade Cargill, I will watch that.
Brian Alvarez said on Wrestling Observer Live that if they did bother to do that, he guarantees you it would not be the lowest rated Rampage of all time. If she I honestly think, Monty, I think they would actually pop a number. It
depends. Like, obviously, when you say hijack a show, like that means like 1,000,001 things that she could do.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like matches start and she just fucks them all up. She just.
If she
I can imagine
interrupted
if
like a Tony Nese entrance, I think that would be incredible.
who's Tony Nese wrestling?
It's him and Josh Woods wrestling 18, I think.
Who?
Is that a Rampage match? I don't. No. That's not the name of the team.
It's
I
the
just can't remember
Acclaimed.
what the
It's
team
the
is.
Acclaimed.
Oh,
That's just me being.
No, it's the A team. That's what she meant to say.
Yeah, no,
that's a tag match that's happening.
She can't interrupt that one because that has a story stipulation. Like they need to win that match to get the rights to
it can still happen.
again.
You can just interrupt the entrance.
Oh man. Actually, you know what? If you want to prolong the storyline about them, being banned from scissoring, you could do that where Jay comes in and she's like,
Hold on. This is like beyond false, you know?
Monty didn't even say anything.
Backstage, Monty was telling me how when he left his Tory meeting, he had to write a
Tory meeting.
Yeah, he was telling his other friend about how much he just couldn't stand Bianca Belair and Jade Gargano and stuff.
That is crazy, bro.
How he has to just pretend on
trying to dig me out for some of. Bro, I don't like many wrestlers in this world, you know. And trying to come at me about two of the wrestlers I actually like is very it's nasty business, you know.
That's
Look,
hilarious.
Miguel, I'm not really watching Lucha right now, but if I'm looking through my notes, I'm gonna start either Pirate Morgan or Sangera Chicana. You know, one of those.
John Moxley got attacked by Hangman Page during his entrance.
Pop.
And they brawled around the crowd area. Hangman Page does a moonsault off a balcony.
Pop.
They brawl around the ring. John Moxley came out of the commercial break with blood in his face.
Pop.
He was wearing white fist tape like he was Terry Funk.
Pop.
They did a bunch of really badass counter moves. And then Hangman Page got knocked out on a lariat.
That's the match.
This was awesome for what it was.
Yeah.
I was really into it.
Yeah, it was.
It was incredible.
I knew going in that that's what happened, which was really upsetting because as I'm watching it, I was like, this match is so good. It's so freaking good. I was really enjoying this for the time being. It got cut short. We know now that Hangman Page is okay, which is great. Great news. This must have been so terrifying to watch live when you didn't know if the guy was even alive. I saw a bunch of tweets as I was at work about him not moving and being unresponsive and shit like that. And I was like, oh my goodness. Mad scramble. They ran to the Dynamite card for next week and the Rampage card. Taz was really shooken up. They got Hangman out on the gurney. And Moxley cut a promo about this being a dangerous game, wrestling that is. He calls MJF out. MJF teases cashing in the poker chip. He chooses not to. He runs back up the stage. He gets a microphone. And he says for the first time in his career, he's going to do the right thing. And he declares Full Gear as the destination of his championship match with Jon Moxley. And we went off the air with them going back and forth and having that match set up. Alexia, what did you think of AEW's handling of Hangman Page's injury and everything that happened in the preceding 8 minutes or so?
I think they did a really good job, in my opinion, in handling it. There was like that little awkward few minutes where it's like they don't know what's going on, but I feel like once they're like, okay, this is serious, they handled it the best way they could. Obviously, you could tell by commentary the way they were talking, they were like, okay, But man, it's kind of unfortunate the way Mox is always put in these awkward situations. But he did a really good job at just talking and not making it I guess not saying he didn't make it as serious as it should have been, but he did a good job, at reassuring,
keeping it moving.
Keeping it moving, reassuring the crowd. Yeah.
Totally agree. Monty, I honestly thought the handling of this was incredible.
Yeah.
Because it was so well done that you would have thought that it was all planned and it was a work and this is just what was supposed to happen because it shows you how great he is as a talker, that like he could just casually just be like, this is what it means, the blood, the sweat, the bones, wrestling. It's a tough game. I'm dangerous. MJF, come out here. And they're going back and forth. And it shows you also that wrestling is not that hard when it comes to cutting promos and stuff. You don't need 70,000 writers, like, typing in a college thesis. You really don't. Moxley off the cut is just like fuck you, I'm gonna kill you, and MJF is just saying his shit, and it works. It was perfect. I thought
F-bomb drop was great.
Yeah.
Is that what he said? Because on my feed, Moxley got bleeped like 7 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a few.
Yeah, we've done mine too.
Yeah, no, there was
What did he say?
there was a few production errors, because obviously it was a bit of madness, like
They were
graphics
just
popping up.
scrambling.
There was that point where there was just a random pink light that hit the ring. Then Moxie's
Yeah.
mic was quiet, and he thought it wasn't working. So when he went to speak into it, he stopped and he was like, "Oh, this show's fucking falling apart."
He goes like, "This is going downhill."
Yeah, that's the one. He dropped an F-bomb as well, but it was just like,
That's hilarious.
Max just dropping
That's
promos.
just Mox being
I
Mox.
thought it was epic.
Honestly, I thought that it was astonishingly well handled in terms of how they just went to the next thing, to the point
They
where
handled it slower.
this had to have been planned, like that ending, maybe not to that amount of time, or it was planned to happen at least a week from now. I think the general setup of MJF teases cashing in and then decides to quote unquote do the right thing and earn it, and then challenging Mox for Full Gear. I'd imagine that was always the plan to happen at some point on one of the shows, right? And either they just went to it early on this show and it was supposed to happen maybe in the last 2 minutes rather than 6, or it was planned for like a week now, and Tony said, "Fuck it, we'll do it. Shoot the angle now. Do the angle now." And he's like, "Okay, cool." It came out very, very clean, really well done. As we all agreed, the match was awesome before the stoppage. What's up?
I just want to say, I can't remember who the ref was in that match, but the fact that they caught that Hangman landed awkwardly, like straight away, was like really good. And I think they just handled it incredibly professionally.
I agree. Totally agree. Manny, what were you thinking watching this thing live, man?
Sucks. I mean, that was a work, just wait, what are we talking about? The match, or are we talking about the
everything?
Oh. Sorry, I'm distracted by the Sixers game. I guess it's cool that they announced a match. Is this the first time they've announced a world title match this laid out into like a pay-per-view? I mean, it's not really laid out. It's like, wait, Full Gear is like 4 weeks away.
What are you talking about? CM Punk versus Moxley was set up in the final week.
No, I mean this early, like, because I don't remember
early, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember last time like a main event match for AEW pay-per-view was like announced this early. You can just move on. I'm like lost in thought right now. This game is pretty great.
Monty, what were your thoughts on how everything was presented on TV?
They worked with what they had given to them. Obviously, it was a very unfortunate situation, and other than the couple of little production hiccups, they navigated themselves through it pretty. You don't want to say seamlessly, because one of their top stars got knocked out and carried off on a stretcher, but like I said, considering the situation, they managed to tie the episode together without it actually completely falling apart, even if it was for the production thing. Hopefully Hangman gets better, like cleared better as soon as possible. Luckily he wasn't seriously injured, even though concussions are definitely no joke. He could be back next Wednesday, he could be back next year, you never know. Hopefully it's the former, but AEW handled it well. I was kind of worried that they weren't going to put out a statement. By the time I went to sleep, they didn't put out the statement. I think they put it out at like 5:30 a.m. our time.
Yeah, it was out before I went to sleep, and that was 6-ish.
Yeah, it was like midnight Eastern time over there. So, but yeah.
What was I gonna say? Good stuff. We on behalf of WrestlePurists wish Hangman Page the best in his recovery.
He got a couple.
Yeah. I'm always
Um,
speaking on
Like, see
Hangman.
your reaction. I'm just.
Wait, it's because okay, it's
Hangman's
something
being a
else.
menace.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that too, but it's something else.
Anyway.
Best wishes to Hangman.
Anyway,
Like,
children.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Athena squash on Dark? I thought it ruled so much. Same.
I haven't watched the full match, but the clips
ruled.
I've seen looked incredible.
See, real wrestling, you know.
Yeah, real grabs.
Manny pointed out, even though Manny's like he looks deep in some research right now. I'm gonna let him.
Well, I'm just going off by this AEW tweet.
And
Manny has phoned it in for the last 2 hours.
No, like this AEW tweet's like throwing me off. It says like they're gonna do like a Roosh and Princeton, like a Preston Vance interview tonight, but then it says 24 hours.
What?
It says live on YouTube. Or
Wait, now you're confusing me.
see, this is what happens when we let Manny talk.
Yeah, he just starts like he reacts to everything on the timeline. Sometimes it's not tangentially related to anything we're talking about, and it's very confusing. So
It's what he does, you know. But like Manny was saying on Twitter yesterday, it's like a lot of these people who were moaning about the Athena match and the Athena Jody Fret match on Dark were like, you know, jobbers from yesteryear, stuff like that. It was never really anyone with any weight to it. It was, you know, I thought it was a nice little squash, you know. I thought Athena's performance kind of ruled.
that was a nice piece of business.
Alexia's losing her mind.
Don't worry.
What is happening right now, man?
Don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
she just disappeared from the Omega.
we got people doing gossip. Can we finish up this podcast? Like,
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Let's yeah, you guys are so
Athena rules. Man,
Yeah.
Yes, she does.
super chat.
Athena rules.
That's the conclusion.
Shout out to Threat too.
Right, everyone pay attention. Which Impossible Dream match would you guys rather see? Bryan Danielson versus Kurt Angle or Brock Lesnar versus Vader?
Oh my
Why
god.
not have both?
Manny, you gotta pick one.
My shirt is already off.
I'm gonna go Brock Vader. UWF rules.
But Alexia, pick one.
Brian Angle.
Charlie,
Brian Angle.
Hanger.
Whose Alexa just went off? I just heard.
When I said your name, then it went off. I was like, oh shit. Hanger, what you picking?
2006 Kurt Angle versus Bryan Danielson out of any period of the last like 15 years would be the best match of all time.
More like ROH champ Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I'm still picking Brock versus Vader.
Yo, Monty, Brock has to bust out the shooting star.
Yeah, bro, they're just fucking. Vader's gonna do those weird wrist punches that he does.
I'm gonna get 90s Vader. I'm gonna get 90s Vader and put him in there with 2003 or 4 Brock, you know, or UFC Brock, you know, one of those two.
Give me Dr. Death Steve Williams All Japan era versus Brock Lesnar.
And this is something that's definitely worth. This isn't a super chat, but someone brought it up earlier. Recipes Kevin Nash's son. So unfortunately, as reported by Sean Rossap, Tristan Nash, the son of Kevin Nash, has unfortunately passed away. He was only 26 years of age. We don't know what the cause of death was at this time. But yeah, man, obviously it's heartbreaking news. Condolences to his family and loved ones, of course. When someone, obviously he was only 26 as well, which is kind of like in our age range. So that always makes it kind of like more.
Hits harder.
It hits harder.
Yeah, you know, like when it's someone your own age, and it's like I couldn't even imagine being in that place. You know.
R.I.P.
Yeah, man. Obviously, like I said, condolences to his loved ones and friends and stuff.
Really tough, man. It's a tough year for Kevin, man. He lost his best friend earlier this year in Scott Hall, and now his son. So, yeah, you know, our sympathies are with him.
Yeah, man. Kevin, God bless Kevin Nash, and obviously, there's been a lot of tweets of support heading out to him and stuff like that. So, you know, everyone, you know, keep him in your thoughts and prayers for now, because Walker just said he's had a rough year, you know, to say the least.
Yep,
to say the least. But yeah. What else has gone on in the wrestling world? Nothing else to it special, to be honest.
Was that the last of the super chats?
I think so. Manny, how's your Hall of Fame ballot going?
It's been bad. I said that by the end of this week.
It's been bad.
By the end of this week, I said I was gonna be done by the Mexico section of this Observer, and I spent the last 4 days watching Octagon and El Santo matches, and it's I was only supposed to watch 3, and it's been down bad. I'm gonna start my next 2 guys soon, and then I'm deciding whether I'm gonna go into Japan next or the U.S. And I think I'm gonna go the Japan side first, because I'm not really that interested in going to U.S. yet.
A bit of breaking news on the scroller.
Who would you have looked into from the U.S. side? Who's on your docket? Is it? Oh, wait. It's JYD and like Orndorff and stuff, right?
Yeah, Edge and Randy Orton and Slaughter.
I just watched a match I think you would love. I just watched a no DQ match between Edge and Eddie Guerrero from 2002 SmackDown, and it's like pretty amazing. And I had just watched it for the first time in years, and it's easily like one of the best Edge matches ever. So there you go.
I'm really excited to go into Pirate Morgan, because if you guys don't know, Pirate Morgan,
crazy.
I think the story is somebody threw a chair at his eye, and he lost his eye. He got knocked out of his head, so now he just wrestles with one eye, and that's why he got the name Pirate Morgan.
That's awesome. Don't report hangy fashion. I will now drop this PSA to everybody. If you guys love me and you value me and you love what I bring to WrestlePurists, follow at Hang.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my god.
Anyways,
I ain't letting him drop no promo about hangy fashion in this.
Follow the account, and when you do, you just make sure.
Oh god,
I want to put over a wrestler. So there's a wrestler called Leon Slater who's been big on the British Indies, who's making his US debut for GCW next month on the 20th of November. His name's Leon Slater, and you should all support him because he's just recently turned 18 and he is incredible. He's so good for his age.
Prospect too.
Oh, yes. Of course.
If you like Nick Wayne, you will like Leon Slater.
While we're wrapping up and getting our plugs in, AO, obviously many of you know in the live chat, tune in tomorrow for the A show. Unpurists on top, 6 p.m. Eastern. Jeff Hardy face paint this week because people love to send in super chats to tell these guys to wear face paint, and
can we do this after this week, please?
Listen, bro. There was no like solid plan for him to do anything this week, but someone just dropped $100 on him and said, "Yo, Jeff Hardy face paint," and they were just like, "Well, shit." It is, bro.
It was a good friend of ours. It was Antonio. So shout out to you. You're one.
Yeah, shout out him. Shout out Antonio for the Jeff Hardy face paint. Shout out Mia for the Sting face paint.
Yes. Mia's
Shout out Manny celebrating his
what you watching? James Harden.
Is it football, basketball? What we watching?
I'm watching basketball. James Harden just took the lead.
What's the score?
It's 86-84. Philly up 2.
Who are they playing?
What does this mean?
Milwaukee.
Right,
bro. Look,
Charlie. Basketball
James
is
Harden
much easier to understand than football. So if you've been able to,
I don't even understand football.
What James Harden did this quarter is legendary. He
got
them back up 10 points.
Slay.
He got
Slay. No. I saw a tweet from a girl the other day. Where she quote tweeted like an athlete that she thought was attractive, and she went, "Go Sports."
That's me. I mean, that tweet wasn't me, but that's me.
She's like, "Go Sports."
Go Cowboys! Big up.
Yeah,
Dallas.
sports pretty good.
Yeah.
Sports.
But yeah,
Guys.
let's wrap this. Let's wrap this
Yeah.
shit up.
Yeah.
I was just about to do the outro, man. So you gotta be
Cool.
smooth, man. Just trust in me, man. Listen, guys, it's been a fun podcast. If you have not, we've had over 100 people watching throughout this entire thing. Please like the video. Please like the video. Please like the video. Like the video. Drop a comment when the video is posted. If you're not subscribed to WrestlePurists, please subscribe to WrestlePurists. Be sure to subscribe and do all that fun stuff. Again, later today.
Thank you for all the birthday wishes.
Listen,
I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
Thank you so much for all that, guys. The feedback's been great. This has been episode 50 of WrestlePurists.
Yeah.
The WrestlePurists
Big
podcast.
50.
Big 50. Appreciate everyone here. I'm gonna sing. Let's sing "Happy Birthday" on our way out here.
No,
bro.
Yeah,
No,
you gotta do it.
No.
Happy birthday.
Can I play this El Santo song?
No.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charlie. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I see all the birthday wishes in chat again. Thank you.
Listen, Purist podcast tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Peace out, love, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. So
Leave a comment.